please don't mix your liquor. That's now one of my rules is stick to one thing and only do that.
Life lessons.
Yeah, life lessons.
Follow me along. Podcast and stuff. We just started.
Yay! What number are we?
Oh, I don't know, man. Because
I'm not your number one, obviously.
No, because I've done like 62. I'm like a podcast whore. I'm like
You're right.
Yeah, I know. That's why I can't even remember. I only know 62 because that's what I've released to the public. Because because I film all these. Yeah, keep it for my personal collection, and then I put them out. So I don't even know. I don't know where I'm at.
Well,
but
those are the only ones that count because those are the public ones.
Yeah, man.
The other ones.
I feel like I'm getting so behind that I had to like cancel like 2 of them because now it's like, all right, like sometimes I just build them up and it takes this video part still takes me a little bit because I'm probably just recording them much higher. I should probably just use a phone and then burn them out, but I kind of like how it looks on there.
Yeah.
So I keep doing it on there. But who am I here with today?
Christy, or on YouTube, ChristyABell.
Oh shit.
I used to be a thing.
You used to be a thing?
No, I was never a thing. Like I got glimpses of it and I squandered every single opportunity.
But I feel like you're one of them, but like you just said, you had a lot. I think a lot of us, even me, like me for back then, because I only did music, so it probably would have been music. Had we kept doing it like frequency, we probably would have had I don't know if the success, but man, we probably would have had like our little following that we
like
probably
mild
still have right now.
Success. Yeah.
No, because it seemed like it's more important now, or at least we're noticing it now because there's so many people doing these things now. But like, man, it's just frequency, and then like the benefit of it being limited back then because you were doing it OG, you were doing camera stuff before me. So I feel like, man, had you like kept that frequency, you probably would have had like some type of growth,
Yeah, I was back YouTubing when flip cams were the thing. That's what everybody was filming on.
What was a flip cam? I remember the flip phone.
No, the flip cam, I think that was what it was called. But it was like the vlogger camera. It was this really long white camera, and it had a little screen on the back and a flip out USB that you would plug into your computer and just zip upload them. And then so everyone was using those and everything was recorded square.
Oh man.
Like Instagram. So I had
where
that.
We started.
And if you look back at my really, really old videos, that's what they were filmed on. And the quality is just so bad. But I mean, it was more accessible and cheaper than all the cameras that we have now. So, but it's kind of cringy looking back at some of those.
It is, but I feel like we should always be proud of that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We should, damn, man, I'm a big fan of just putting everything out. So like, put it out, leave it out, move on, get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never, well, there's a couple regrets, but I never regret making anything or like how I used to be or how I used to make my videos. I think it's just a progression. You can watch how far you've come because it was so amateur and I was just trying to be funny and made so many videos that I'm just like, why? And then now it's like you put out higher content and you're like, okay, that's decent. But just like before, I hate it. You always hate what you put out.
You do. But I think it's important that we don't let that stop us putting it out. Because I do know some people now to this day who just don't put shit out because it ain't good enough. And I'm like, are you reaching for this perfection plateau that's never going to come? And you still on 0 releases. I'm like,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, who am I to talk? It ain't like I'm making a living, so it's like I can't really be like, this is where you do this for success. I'm just more like, man, just do it, dude. Because unless you gonna make it, then like just do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just put it out there. But second question always is, who is Christy or ChristyABell?
I think there's 2 distinct personalities because there's always. I know. Hey. There's always like the work me, the one that everyone sees socially, and then there's the one online, which is always the people online are always an exaggeration of yourself. So you're always like kind of putting on a show, but it's still virtually you. And so sometimes you can actually get caught up in the personal you, and it like hurts the real you.
How so?
Because you almost don't know how to like be yourself, or you kind of like shut yourself in because you are putting yourself out on the internet. And so like whenever people see you in real life, they're expecting this big exaggeration, and you're like, no, I just want to chill and be like regular for now.
I got you. I almost feel like it was becoming more dangerous for me. I almost feel like I'm merging them. Like I'm just becoming like, look, I'm gonna just be me. I don't really care. Like I ain't trying to play a character, and just like in all, like in my whole life and everything. It's like, look, man, I just say what I feel, and yeah, if that's not good,
it's like,
sorry.
what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like when
no, stuff can happen because most people don't like, especially me, because I'm like, I probably in San Antonio, man, I probably alienated myself from a lot. Like it's like me and my room, like we get along real well. But outside of that, like, dude, like my circle is dipped to like just me and them dogs in the room, you know.
Me.
Well, you moved this place. Like, that's parts of it. But what I mean, what happened with me is like like almost all my friends, you know, are involved in some type of creative thing, but like they just don't be taking that shit seriously. And maybe I don't take it seriously enough, but I feel like they just don't take it as seriously as I do, in the sense like they was talking, but no one's doing shit. And I'm just like, all right, so what are we doing? Like, what are we like? Why am I spending time here? You know? And I think like I had one friend who like I used to do these like live concert streams that we were doing for like earlier this year. And I had one friend who he didn't tell me, so I only know this because just paying attention. And then like I have a mutual friend who's like told me his feelings, but I don't even know why. Officially, I shouldn't even know why he did this, but basically he unfollowed me from all the things, you know, and he won't even like talk to me or anything anymore, you know. And from what I was able to gather from my other friend, like basically he just didn't like what I said. And these are things that I didn't even say behind his back or nothing. I've said to his face, literally. Oh, no. You know what I mean? Like I said to his face and apologized to them, literally. Like probably like from as minimal as like 10 minutes later to the same bunch of times the same night and later, like publicly. So it's like now I was like, well, what do you want me to do? You know, I actually did everything.
Yeah, you did everything.
I did the wrong thing and I apologized for it, you know?
I mean, are you upset that he did it?
Probably in the beginning, because I'm probably more upset initially. I was always been upset of what we were just talking about, like communication.
Yeah.
As I'm almost less upset that you don't want to be friends with me, and more like, damn son, you could have told me that, you know, or you could have just like why is this like zero? Because we were supposed to do something right after like that last event we did with each other, and then he just kind of like flakes out at the last minute, and then just posts like a weird ass Facebook message about retiring, even though he put on a show the same night. I was like quicker comeback than Michael Jordan. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh,
but I know it was just weird, but it was funny because I was like, man, you ain't even a Facebook person like that, you know?
Yeah.
But to not even tell me like what I did wrong or something. Like again, I only know it because of other people, and all it was me just saying things like I want to do real shit, because basically the stuff he was just doing is basically like the musical, or we were doing, or like his vision versus my vision was more geared towards like the equivalent of like, you know, like what a happy hour is for most people. Like I just want to burn steam, and that's pretty much what he was doing music for. And I would always have these ideas that were maybe too ambitious for this, but it's like, look, because I'm trying to do real shit. I'm not trying to do this like hang around here forever shit, you know. But I be sometimes speaking New York slang, so I be saying those things very raw to people, and most people like in SA maybe just don't take it well. You know,
they're just sensitive. But the thing that gets me is, you know, we're 30s in our 30s, and it's like you can't even be an adult and talk to me about it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like you could have done, and like I said, I apologized literally before like you could even be too mad at it. You know? So it's like, man, like just say shit, or even just say like, you know what, man, I was crossing the line, whatever, which it wasn't. I just like, I want to do real shit. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
There was one other thing too, like because I'll call people out in public because there's some other dumb shit that happened there too, but like. Basically, all I did was just say shit, and it's just like, well, you could tell me, hey man, I don't like what you said. I don't think we should be friends. And they can't even say that. Just say some shit, dude. Just say shit. Like I don't like that shit. So Unlike this.
Well, this is an open table. Do you have some shit you gotta lay on me? Bring it.
Nah, you live too far away. That's it.
Oh shit.
I didn't expect to be in Austin being like, oh my gosh, I drive another 40 minutes. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like,
I wanted to be closer to work.
Yes, get a better job. Get a better. Yeah. I mean, me being like the arts man, I'm like, I have not explored. Like, I don't even know. Does this really count as Austin where you live or no?
No, I mean it's Leander.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, like I feel like I would almost have to live around that area just because the shit I like is there, you know?
Yeah, so, yeah. It makes more sense like when you're down there for it.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, like, you got a big ass house, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is actually like the first time that anyone knows about it. I've never posted about my house.
What does that mean? Anyone knows about it? Like
I've never posted it online. Like I have friends who know about it, who obviously moved here and like were in the process of it, but I've never posted like a picture online or anything on my Facebook about it. So that's
why?
I don't know. Like for me, anytime I would see like people posting engagements or like, oh, we just got married, like it was so annoying to me, and I felt like they were rubbing it in my face, and I didn't want to do that. I'd rather just like post something like a year later and be like, oh yeah, I'm living here, like that it's not a big deal. It's like I'm not trying to rub it in people's faces because that's not the kind of person I am. I don't use social media to show off. The only showing off I do is with pictures of Sirius, and that's it. Because I will show him off.
There's a lot of dog shit. I can't front.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm like, man,
it's
that's a lot of dog.
And then I get tagged in all the dog stuff. Anything that has corgis or dogs, I get the tags.
Oh, man.
So it's
going to be dog lady.
It's dog all the time.
Damn. It's a lot of dog. Yeah. Why your dog don't like me?
He loves you. He just has so much feelings.
Oh, is that what that was?
He's just like so full of feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, man, there's a lot of barking. I was like, a lot.
Yeah, he's just really loud and he barks for attention.
Really loud. I was like, shit. But most usually they just hump me and like punch me in the balls. That's not fun. That second one, but it's a sacrifice. So now you live here. Is the creative version of you still alive, or is that like yesteryear?
I think it is, because I still have projects I want to work on, and I did make that video because you made me.
Yeah.
And I did
make you.
Yeah. You inspired me to pressure me.
That guy actually lives in Austin too, so it's also partially Noah.
Yeah.
That it was like where he was quoting something about like you gotta hear everything, right? The classics and all that.
Yeah. And I really like how it turned out. I spent a whole month on it, editing it. Got like a whopping 50 views, but
can't do this shit for views, man.
No. But I was like, where's my peeps at? But I really enjoyed it. I wrote the second script.
Oh.
It was a lot of research and everything, way more than the first one. But this episode was like a lot for me because the time period was so religious based. It was when Christianity came out and Jesus of Nazareth and everything. So it's very biblical, and you have to take it the right way. Otherwise people are going to get upset. So, and then I was like, man, I don't remember
is
these.
That one out?
No. Like I wrote the script out, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to look back over it later. Like after I've not looked at it for a while. It's been like 2 months. So it's just sitting on the old computer.
What are you doing?
Well, school. So like those are so like
at real life stuff. I just
gets in the way.
I mean, I'm just really bad at doing it. One day I'll start doing. That's probably why I don't have like friends, because I'm just like I just prioritize all this insanity.
I think I just need to get back to like some of the simple like storytelling videos that I used to do. I used to do, like reading my old stories, which were terrible. But the one series that everyone really liked was the This Is Why I'm Single, which is basically me talking about stories about people I've dated and how badly it went wrong. And people enjoy it. And in case you didn't know, I'm still single.
People like the dating stuff, man.
Yeah. They just like things going wrong.
That show with the 4 pics I was showing you, like a majority of his show is just dating games. So I was showing you, I think, the talent show. I don't think I showed you any of the dating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they play like Twitch, Tinder, King of the Hill, probably other stuff where it's just bring on random dudes and that's it. And they just try to just scenario them, you know, like if he hasn't done it well, but I feel like he always has very bad scenarios. Like, if you took Jenna on a date and you're eating dinner and she just shits her fucking pants, and it's like, yeah, it's just like the worst thing possible. Like, what would you do? It's like not even like a good date scenario.
Oh no.
But yeah, like and I think that's like part of the reason why like just people like all that social stuff.
Yeah, and I miss the social aspect. And sometimes when I was making videos, it felt social to me because I was like providing something. And I kind of felt like that with this last video. It's just sometimes it's hard to bring that person back because so many factors have changed since then.
Oh, by person, you mean you, right?
Me. Yeah.
Well, you don't bring that person back. You bring the next one.
Yeah,
you make the next one if there is a next one, because sometimes like I wonder with some of these things. I mean, even right now, like music's weird. I can't ever stop it, but I don't necessarily need to be doing it all the time.
Yeah.
So like, and I think, but at the same time, I think the thing I've noticed so far is I always have to be making something.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes, and I just get into self-analysis. I'm like, wonder if like making something is like my kind of drug / escape. Because, you know, maybe I'm the biggest fan of San Antonio. Because I remember I did travel like 2 months, maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought some stuff. I was like, man, I gotta make stuff, blah, blah, blah. I ain't make jack shit. And I was just fine. But I was getting a lot of new data inputted into me because almost every 3 to 5 days I was in a different city. So like, you know, I did Las Vegas, Phoenix, Hawaii, San Diego, Comic-Con, San Francisco, and a lot of LA. Like even staying in different places. There was a lot of LA. A majority of that was LA. But yeah, it was just new data to intake all the time. So maybe because I was always getting new experiences, I need to really make stuff all the time, you know?
I don't think I could ever go back to San Antonio.
Oh, it sucks.
Like, I got a job offer there, and I was like, I can't go back.
It sucks. Like, I only... Literally, like, the only... I use this as an endless excuse, but I don't think I can do it anymore. But I only live there because it's, like, it's just real comfortable for me to live there. Like, and it ain't even so much the city so much as, like, I live with my sister. At this point, though, we're getting to that, like... you know, like... Probably more her. I'm, like... I just kind of take it because I maybe through meditation, just the way I am, like it's just real easy to just take it. But every once in a while I'll snap and it's like back, but it's harder and hard. It's hard to snap back because it's like, all right, man, it's letting me live in her place and like all of this belongs to her. So it's like, not really. I was warning her though, like, man, yo, one of these days, man, make too much money, I'm gonna say some real shit to you and you're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna be
You're like saving it up, keeping a journal.
I ain't even trying to do that, but it's just more like, man, sometimes it's less about saving it up. I'm like, man, it's a lot of one-way shit, and I ain't saying I'm like that you're wrong about all, but it's a lot of one-way shit that sometimes it's just like, you know, like it don't even need to be that much, you know? Like,
yeah.
But I get it. I've been there for a long time, and you know, people, man, it's been there too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she lives there, and then like my mom, it's just easy. And I have like me as a creator, like I just have everything. That's it. That's really it. You know, I would love everything to be bigger, but it's just like there's nothing there I want. But yeah, my outside life I noticed doesn't even grow anymore. I've only been able to grow like my art side of me, and I don't really grow because there's nothing really I ever want in there.
Yeah,
I find less and less reason to go out anywhere, and times I do, I'm always disappointed.
I know.
So yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't think you ever knew this girl Amber Noel or something, but I don't know. Oh man, I'll tell you off. Doesn't even matter. I'll tell you off the mics. Like, I don't want to say stuff that don't even happen. So I mean, but I don't know. Hopefully, I'll do something soon.
Yeah.
But this talks to that. Because I think even if it means me shutting down a little bit of the creative side, I think Need to just maybe do that balance. I've probably been all yin and no yang, or one of those.
Yeah.
One, not the other. Because I think I've just been going so hard at this stuff that like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm supposed to live a real life too, and like do the boring stuff, like make more money, or interact with the world or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because like I dropped out of the YouTube stuff and focused on the job stuff and getting that together. And obviously that's working out for me. But then now trying to find that balance going back the other way is extremely hard because I'm like, well, how do I fit it in? And it's basically I'm in my own way. And I have to like take responsibility for that. Is that I'm the one keeping me from doing it. I can't say, oh, I have no time. I'm like, well, I binge watched an entire series on the weekend. Like I have the time.
Yeah. Stop.
Yeah.
Netflix is a thing killer. Whatever that thing is you like, it kills it.
I know, but I love when it kills it. When it's a good show. I love Netflix.
I've probably, because I've had a lot more free time than most people, I've almost desensitized myself to everything. And that like it's getting harder and harder for me, for those things that feel good, to take us away from things we should be doing. Like now I do them and it's less and less like it works, in the sense that like I can do them and I'm like, I'm not even enjoying this anymore. And it's like almost hard, which is in the long run, I think it'll be good, because I think what it's doing is just taking away more options of escape from me. And it's like, yeah, fool, you got to face whatever it is you got to face, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I turn on Netflix. I'm probably one of the few people in the world. I turn it on. I struggle. I just struggle to find focus. And no, to find anything that I care about, even though they have tons of shows.
Yeah.
And how I word this nice. I'm sure some of them, maybe a lot of them are good, but I mean, like probably not. But I just look and I just don't care. And I'm like, at the here's a nice thing I can say about their shows. Like I look at their shows, and I'm like, I bet you I could watch this and probably not be mad. Yeah. You know, like. But
sometimes you get through a whole thing and the finale sucks. And then you're like,
but a lot of stuff just doesn't interest me. They just, no, it just doesn't, like, I just don't even want to start it. I look at these shows, I'm like, I don't care. Cause it's like, I want to make stuff. Like, same thing with like if I'm at a concert or music, I have almost zero interest in going to any concerts unless I'm working it in some capacity or a friend is playing, because then I'm supporting them. And honestly, if a friend is playing, then I'm fucking taking pictures and videos, so I'm working it. You know what I mean?
So you don't do South by ACL?
Well, hell no. ACL only did it when I was working it, so it was like I got in free. I did it one year, and then South by, I barely come anymore, because it was cool to come before. I had people to stay with, but it was like, if I gotta try to come here. And then even when I was coming to South, the last couple of South bys, they were just friend gatherings from people I knew around America and Texas who would come to Austin. And so they just became networking functions. The early South bys, damn right, I went hard into all the artists. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I've done it all, that it doesn't matter. I haven't seen every artist or something. There are a handful of artists that I care about that I would like to see. Mm-hmm. Almost none of them are in America. So, like, the last one I cared about was James Blake. You heard of him? Oh, he's British, but he's awesome. He's awesome. Saw him at Moody Theater at 2nd Street.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was godly. I enjoyed that passively and do jack shit. I enjoyed that. But there aren't a lot of everybody else I want to see. Like, and this comes from, like, I grew up 18 years in hip-hop, right? In New York and all that. And so I know, obviously, that music is my American music. As soon as we get into other genres, it becomes world music. It's like America's losing probably on every other genre.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like I want to see Ling Toshite Shigure. That's a Japanese band, you know?
Yeah.
The list, I don't even remember the list. That's the only band I want to see. It's probably other people. I still haven't seen Opeth and Steven Wilson, so I definitely want to see them. One of those is UK and Opeth Sweden. Yeah, so Sweden, you know? But yeah, they're all like European people or they're all, or some Japanese, but like I still haven't seen Duran Gray. I don't know if you heard of them from the day. Jessica used to like them.
Yeah.
And they came here a lot. I just didn't want to, I don't know, try. I just want to drive to Houston. It was always fucking Houston.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're all just bands not from here or groups not from here. But other than that, like yeah, I'm just bored. Like because it's like I could be doing it myself. Yeah. Like even though I'm not good or from, I just could be doing it myself now. So and the same thing, I probably get something subconsciously with TV too. And that like if it isn't like in this core area of interest, I'm like I just be making content myself. You know, like it ain't maybe pro TV, but and look, I just showed you this movie thing, right? I'm sort of doing it myself, you know, at low level, but still doing it, you know? So it's just like once, and the thing is like doing all this, like a lot of the magic's taken away now too. So that's what I'm saying. Like if it ain't like top tier shit, it's like I don't even want to watch it. So like, yeah. So, or at least what I consider, because, you know, it's all opinion and shit. So I kind of just watch the Netflix Marvel shows and that's about it. And you know what? I fucking hate those now too. They fucking suck. I don't know if you watch those. I hope you do so we can talk about them. Are you keeping up with them?
I got behind.
Okay, so look, we'll start with the beginning in that they were godlike when they first started, right? Daredevil season 1's godlike. Mm-hmm. Jessica Jones season 1, godlike. After that, we started doing
the only good episode at Jessica Jones season 2 was the one with David Tennant. The rest of it was so much mom bullshit. So good. So much.
It was so much what?
Mom bullshit.
Yes, mom. Okay, you said Marvel. I was like, no.
Oh my God, just kill her already, please.
Yo, that show, right? That's a part of me wanted to say this is bad in 2018 world, Me Too movement, all this, but it's bad. Part of me was almost saying like, yo, I wonder if this happened because it was directed only by women this time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, man, they a director. Whoever the fuck wrote this, I'm like, they can only save so much. I'm like, it's whoever wrote that show.
Yeah.
But it's like, so look, I'll say the good stuff first, right? So Daredevil season 1, like, and season 2, season 1 of JJ, godlike, right? And then Daredevil season 2 happened, right? And because of Punisher, I thought she was godlike too, right? And then we get to Cage. And yeah, see, that's the beginning of the end. I thought the first 7 episodes was godlike, and then they killed my homie there. You seen Cage or no?
No, I couldn't get through.
So somebody dies in there. Oh, you couldn't get through? Mm-hmm. So, see, Cage I like for the wrong reasons. I'm from New York, so I was seeing Harlem, and I just stayed in Harlem literally that same year. So I was like, this is really cool. But there's a lot of shit in here. But it was just cool seeing Harlem a lot. But they get rid of, do you care about spoilers or not? So that homie Cottonmouth?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he dies. And halfway, like episode 7, and then other people take over, and I'm like, fuck these other people. Who the fuck are these? That dude shows up in episode 8, like, yeah, son. And I'm like, the fuck you mean, yeah, son? I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? You the big bad guy. I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck you are, you know? Like I'm like 8 episodes invested. I'm like, fuck you, get off this show. It sucked. And then they end up making the, I don't know what you say, because I'll just in case you watch Case 2. But anyway, then Iron Fist happened. Fucking travesty of a show. Oh my God. Have you seen that show?
No.
That show is amazingly bad. I love fucking superhero shit so much that I just sat through that shit.
Oh, you poor thing.
It was fucking hit. That's probably what scarred me. So that show was so bad, right?
Maybe that's what killed your Netflix.
I think it did. That show was so bad. I'm not even lying. So from that moment, I re-rated Cage. I said, bad show. And then I went all the way back to Daredevil season 2. And I was like, this is also a bad show because this is the show that started this shit. Because Daredevil 2 was the one that started we're going to do multi-stories. We're going to do multi-bad guys, you know? Instead of like Kingpin for the whole time or Kilgrave for the whole time. But yeah, like Daredevil season 2, it's like, look, man, aside from Punisher, I'm like, I didn't really need any of this other shit going on, which is sad. And then Cage, yes. Those first 7 episodes, again, like, those were my shit. And it's probably because that guy that you didn't, since you didn't stick with it, yo, that homie Cottonmouth, I probably related to him, like, way too much. Because he's just fucking little. He's a man now, but he's a little boy, dude. He's a little boy. He just wanted to play music. None of his family supported him because that's a bitch move. And a real man should be out here thugging it up, you know? So they kind of make him a gangster. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, dude, like, I was never made to be a gangster or nothing, but I was like, yo, I had, like, no support from my mom. And it's like, had I had that support, I didn't have self-esteem when I was young either. So I was like, had I had that support, I would have probably done different things. I don't even know if they'd be better, but I would have done different paths. And I probably would have took music way more seriously. But she was always like, how you gonna make money and all those things you love hearing, you know?
Does she still say that?
Yeah, but I just don't give a fuck now. And you know, like, and she and they both come around, my mom and sister, because they just see I'm probably just was so stubborn with it now that it's just like,
yeah, it's like this is how it is now.
Yeah. Like, you just need to find your shit now. You know that they're more on, but it's like I willed it into happening versus like before. It's like, you know, please support me or whatever, you know, whatever bullshit I was saying. But yeah, so I related to that dude heavies. And then they just get worse and worse. I don't even remember. Oh, Defenders comes out after that. What a fucking piece of garbage. Like, did you see that shit? Did you see it? Oh my!
I just kind of gave up because it kept.
They just
so
get
bad.
progressively worse because
no.
because Iron Fist also had a bit of a villain flip. And I was like, what is this villain bullshit flip? And then see they get like. I have like so many theories. I can go into detail as to why these things happen, but basically, like without going down that well, because I feel like I'm just taking it over with my shit. This show, which
we're going a deep dive.
Yeah. Like, but basically, like there's a lot of shit that happened. Like I feel like with Marvel as it comes, because I think when those shows started, I feel like Marvel hadn't yet split up, and at some point around those shows happening, Marvel Studios kind of becomes more like Disney has this kind of like we the Disney movie crew, and they kind of pulled Marvel movies away. And I feel like and certain people split up and do certain things. And I'm like, one of the guys who ended up running TV at that time was the guy who used to bicker with one of the guys who runs Marvel movies. And he's kind of like a cheap dude and like just doing all these weird things. And I feel like once he kind of became sole possession of TV, I was like, I think this is why this shit sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're always the guy with the shitty ideas in the movies. And I'm like, now you're the guy with the shitty ideas on TV.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like some long back end. But then also like the TV shows also had this annoying habit of like, hey, I'm going to want some comic book shit, right? What's that mean? Superhero shit? What's that also mean? Fake, impossible, not realistic shit. And those Netflix shows are always trying to do some real life bullshit. Like it's a Chris Nolan Batman movie or something. It's like, do I tune into comic book shit to watch what's possible? I'm trying to watch some not possible shit. I can go outside. I see what's possible. I don't need, and so like they're very big on having heroes not be heroes. Like it was very annoying, but at least Daredevil did it the best, right? Like he's not Daredevil to the very end, dragging that shit out. Like always telling the story before the story. That's fucking dumb. Like comic books are a thing because there's A, B, and C, right? A is the origin, B is the middle, and C is the story that's never told, the last story. Those are usually like what if stories, what if scenarios, you know? But those stories never are canon because you need money, right? So be forever. Yeah. So always this middle of the road stuff. And that's what we mostly remember. But man, they love telling their origin shit on these fucking things, dragging it out. You ever saw the Punisher show?
No, I just saw the original movie.
No, the Punisher has a Netflix series.
Oh, I know. I did see that. I met him. The main guy. Walking
Dead man? You can't protect him, Rick. That dude.
Yeah. And I was just like, shame.
There was a joke because now he shows up in Daredevil and he starts talking the same shit. Oh, no. You can't protect him, Red. You know? Like, because he's like, don't kill people. And he's like, nah, we killing people. And he's a savage on Walking Dead, too. He's like, nah, we gotta kill people. That's how we gonna survive. And it's like, yo, it's the same character on both shows. Like, I'm just trying to save people by killing everybody who ain't part of this little clique. And Punisher is really, this clique is really me. But I mean, like, but yeah, he's like, it's the same dude. It's like Daredevil is just fucking Rick. He's just like,
oh no.
And that's pretty much their whole argument. I mean, it's like, dude, like, we're both trying to do the same thing, but you a punk. You out here letting people live? Nah. Because they ain't gonna go back and kill people.
And it's so funny because he's like totally opposite in person.
He's just nice and shit.
No, he was kind of like, look at me.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like
the shit.
I know, like I know I'm the center of attention, and I know everyone loves me. Kind of thing. Man. And I was like, what?
That must be good, I guess.
And I was like, I'm just gonna take my picture with you because it's free. I paid for it. But
they did his origin story on Daredevil, and then Punisher show. You said you didn't see it yet, the series, right? Or you did? It's overall it's good, but there's a lot of nonsense that was pissed me off. But anyway, what do they do? Like Punisher for the purposes of Netflix, instead of being this man who just wants to kill like all bad guys, right? So like no one has to feel that pain. Kills his family killers on Daredevil, and then he just, I don't want to be Punisher no more, right? Like, and I'm like, wait, what? And then finds out, wait, other people who killed my family still alive? We in the game again, you know what I mean? And then he takes care of those people. All right, I don't want to be Punisher. Good now. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like what this show has become, the Netflix shows, all of them are like, I don't know about this. I want to be I don't really want to be a superhero. Like that shit's like hard. Like Daredevil, unfortunately, like he was he was always about being Daredevil till Defenders happened. Then he's like, I'm good. Like he doesn't want to wear the costume till like the fucking end. I'm like, are you serious? Like stop telling me this. I don't want to be a superhero shit. Jessica Jones' whole journey, both season 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be fuck this. Fuck, I don't want to be a superhero. You know, Cage too. He's like, look, man, I'm black. It's tough enough. Why I don't want to be a superhero? You know. Season 1 is one of the funniest things in Cage, and that's like, this man is bulletproof. Mm-hmm. And he's still running away from police. That's how scary white cops are. I'm like they can't even kill you, and you still run. Yeah. I'm like, that's some real shit. But I mean, like, he's also like, you know, like, dude, like, I'm just trying to live my life. Like, why? I want to do this hero bullshit, you know? Mm-hmm. And 2, he lightens up on it somewhat, but like, man, it's just like all of them. I think Iron Fist is the only one, but he won't wear his fucking costume. And he's out here talking about, I'm the immortal Iron Fist. Like, just saying, like, all this shit. I killed a dragon. Like, that was the one that shouldn't have been there at all. Because he's the one who involves, like, the most impossible stuff. So everything that's impossible, like him killing a dragon and whatnot, it's only reserved for, like, lore talk. Like, he talks it. But they never show it. I'm like, all you love doing is flashbacks and origin stories. Yeah. Here's one that would be cool to see. Like, I did it. How come you don't believe me? I killed a dragon. I did it. Like, look. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is this stupid shit?
Maybe they're saving it for season 2.
I mean, you could argue Defenders was about him, and what they had dragon bones instead of a dragon. Like, it was just bones of a dragon buried underneath. It's pretty horrible. I can go on and on about this. I'm even withholding. But, yeah, I kind of just took this over and just started just shitting.
Deep dive.
I love those things. There's only one thing to me that's good right now. That's the Marvel movies. I don't know if you watch those or not.
I'm a little behind. I missed a few.
They only come out like 3 a year, 2 or 3 a year.
I know. I don't know how I got behind. I just did.
I go to those day 0 all the time.
Well, and then when you randomly watch one, and you missed a couple, you're lost.
You know, and like, I mean, it just depends. You show up for Black Panther, like, what are you really missing? Like, it's only the end credit stuff that would even affect you, and that's the end credit, so who cares, you know?
Well, I watched Thor 2, and I was so confused.
Damn, what does that end? Like, what were you confused about? Like why Hulk was there and why he took a ship. Thor 3, calm down.
Thor 3, sorry. I don't think I saw the second one, though.
Thor 3, see, all right, so it's confused as to, like, why are people where people are. But other than that, you don't really need to know anything. You just confused at the start of the movie as, like, why is people here? But at the end of the day, you don't need to know that to enjoy what the movie is.
Yes, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm that person that can't watch a movie after it started like 15 minutes in. I have to start from the beginning.
They explain Hulk in the middle?
No, but I have to see everything.
No, but they explain Hulk in the middle of that movie. Like, why?
I know. Yeah. I just mean, like, that's how I am. I want the whole story.
Yeah, but I mean, I appreciate Marvel has done their little, like, comic book thing, like that, because they all interconnect. Mm-hmm. But they're all also lightly interconnected. So they're not, like, hard. Like, for me, Thor 3, I don't really need to know nothing. Like, I didn't. I was in Denver by myself. I took myself to see that movie. But, like, I think I showed it once it came out. I showed it to my mom, like, because I know she likes the Hulk. And it's like, you don't need to know nothing. It's just like, look, man, it's Matt Damon. It's fucking right there. You saw Matt Damon in the beginning? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, like, especially that one, Thor 3 of all that, was just, like, kind of like a fun movie.
Yeah.
So it's
completely
like,
different feel.
You don't really need to know nothing. But I mean, like, that's the only example of, to me, of something being, like, big and commercial that to me still hasn't lost what it is.
Yeah.
Which I think is rare, because I think almost everything changes once it's commercial. And I'm sure some people do hate those, but I'm like, those things are amazing. Those movies are amazing. But everything else, I'm just like, man, it just sucks. But say something, because I'm going to just keep talking about Marvel.
Okay.
Or I'll say something if you can, but I want to see if you say something. I'll give you a chance. All right, so I'm going to say something. Because So you say you can't go back to San Antonio?
No.
Is Leander much better? I don't know nothing about it. Maybe it is.
Well, I mean, I still go into Austin all the time. I work there. It's just I live here.
Got you.
But
oh, you and your job's in Austin?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
620, 183.
I don't even know where one of those is.
It's still north.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always really liked Austin, and I was always coming up to this area when I was visiting anyway, so it's really familiar to me. And the reason I can't go back to San Antonio, it was great.
You don't need
college.
to. I was just making fun of the Leander.
Yeah. No. But it was great. But I feel like I burned so many bridges in different areas.
What?
Just like, it's like you get tired of the people and you don't even want to be near them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a girl thing. But like, I don't even want to have the chance of running into someone I know. And Facebook is bad enough because you can kind of accidentally run into them when they show up on your feed. So I have people there and I have people back home that they really mess me up. And so I just have bad memories like right at the end. And so anytime I drive back there, that's just like what comes flooding back. Even though I have so many good memories and like I remember those, there were certain people that made it suck.
We always are attracted to negative first.
Oh, yeah.
So we think that's
I
horrible.
picked the worst people. Every single guy I was with cheated on me.
Oh, man.
Every single one.
All right. Like the streak is still active?
As far as I know.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Anyone
good.
that was like kind of seeing, like I don't count the like one-offs or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that wasn't anything serious. But ones where we were kind of mutually exclusive, I would find out later. Or there was one guy in San Antonio, which I talked about on my channel. I was dating him. It was long distance, but we went to college together. I mean, you might even know him because he was in the department.
All right.
And
it's up to you. You can say or not say.
So we were into each other, but he was in a long-term relationship, like promise rings, everything.
Oh, promise rings. So
I know. And then I'd moved back after graduating, and I was like, "Ooh, we should kind of hang out." At that point, I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll move back to San Antonio or Austin." And he wanted to move to Austin.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, we should try and make it work." And so I was going into town because my brother lived in the area. So we were kind of making it work, even though he was being a dick. Is the bottom line. He was being a dick. Like, wouldn't text back all the time, or like would go days without texting me.
Communication is hard.
Bad communication.
For people. I don't know. Sometimes.
Yeah, and I think he was still going to school at that point. So I was like, you have time to text me like once a day or whatever. The worst weekend I had was I came into town and I was there to see him, and I told him, hey, I'll be there Friday, and he was the one I was supposed to stay with, and I'll see you there, whatever. I text him once I get there. I was dropped off. No, I had my car. And I was like, hey, where you at? He's like, I'm working. And I was like, you knew I was coming into town, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll take off work. No, he was working. He's like, I won't get off till midnight or late. And I was like, okay. So I went and hung out with my friend. He was supposed to get off work, and then he goes biking. He was really into biking. So he and all his buddies at work went biking around town. So then I had to wait longer. This was around Halloween. And so he's out biking. I'm with my friend, and I'm pissed, and I'm complaining to him. And then I find out that my friend died. He was killed in a motorcycle accident. And I'm upset, and I'm freaking out now because he's out biking at night. So I'm like, where are you at? I want to make sure you're good, blah, blah, blah. Not texting. He's like, oh, I'm lost, blah, blah. Like all these excuses. And I was freaking out. I was upset. And then I go to this Halloween party with my friend because I was like, what else am I going to do? I'm just going to go out and I was young. So I show up to this party, and I run into my ex of all places in San Antonio. Ran into him. And so it was awkward. He finally came home at 4, and I was asleep in my car crying. And then he blew me off the next day, and then he went back. he kind of kept blowing me off until I was already moved to Austin, and he stops by at like 2 or 3 in the morning, like drunk, and he's trying to like fool around and stuff. And I'm like, no, like, you have stood me up so many times. Like, you're so rude and you don't text me. Like, there's no reason I should put up with it. And he's like, fine. And then it was maybe a week later, he posted a picture saying he was in love with some girl. And I go through her feed, and they had been together for a while. So this was like a thing. And I was like, you could have come clean, and like a week ago you were like in my bed trying to do stuff. So it's like those kind of memories is like what makes me think of going there, and like in that area was just like me upset and crying because I was freaking out. And then one story I can get into. So this is one that has not
your
been...
cat coming on?
My cat.
Yeah.
Okay. This... I'm trying to think of where to start. This is one story only close friends know about. And
now the few people who hear this.
Yeah, welcome. I think, I was still at UTSA when it happened. And this is the person that has given me so many problems. And is the reason for a lot of the things I do. And I really hate that I became so dependent on someone like that. So there was a guy back in my hometown that I... like by happenstance. It was like one of those crazy things where you meet someone and you're like, if I never went, I never would have met them. It was one of those stories. I went to like a bar I never go to with a friend I never go to. And there was this cute guy across the bar, and he was like talking to my friend and like real cute. And I was extremely drunk. I had had some like 4 liquor drink too fast and everything, like not safe. And, like we were talking and stuff, and I was like, man, he looks super familiar. Well, he was an actor on a show I watched as a kid. So he had like, I guess, moved back into town because his parents were living there. But, you know, everyone came up and was like, oh, hey, I remember you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, like, all right. So we hung out later. I was blackout drunk. And... stuff happened. Obviously, we're consenting adults. I was mostly consenting. I was very blackout drunk. Woke up the next day, and I was not at home. And the only reason I know that he wasn't lying about what happened is because he did not know me, but he explained like everything exactly how I would say it. And I was like, okay, like that's what I did, and it's really embarrassing. So we had hooked up, and like, he took me back home, and he's like, hey, I think you're really cool and stuff. Like, do you want to hang out, like, not in that scenario? And I was like, sure. And so we went out to dinner, and it was really nice. And I was telling him, I was like, I don't really remember a lot of it, because as soon as I went and hung out with him, we started drinking again. And that was where it just... all disappeared. It's all gone. And that was where I learned, please don't mix your liquor. That's now one of my rules is stick to one thing and only do that.
Life lessons.
Yeah, life lessons. And surprisingly, like, I wasn't as hungover as I should have been. I should have been worse, really.
Resistance.
But I was young. I bounced back.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I'm 30. It doesn't happen anymore. So we went on this date, and he kind of talked about stuff, and he was like, I think you're really cool and stuff. And I was like, unfortunately, I'm like going back to school, so I'm going to be like 5.5 hours away. And he's like, oh, that's, you know, that really sucks because I think you're cool and I'd like to hang out. And I was like, well, like we can try and like talk and keep up. And obviously like nothing big is going to happen, but we'll just kind of like keep it up and see what happens. So we were texting all the time and Skyping, and we were basically dating boyfriend, girlfriend without labels. He kept saying, I don't want to put labels on it and blah, 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 as fuckboys do.
The first fuckboy.
Yeah. No. I've had fuckboys.
No, I meant the show, the word.
Yeah, the
first
the
fuckboy
rule,
of the
first
show is
rule.
what I meant.
Yeah, and so he didn't want to put labels on it, and I was like, okay, I understand, because we both were like, we know long distance sucks and it never works.
If you don't say it, it's okay.
Yeah. And this is a time when like Skype was cool. Yeah. So we would Skype.
I'm on Team Discord now.
Oh. I just learned what that was. I was playing Pokemon Go and I showed up to a raid and there was like a whole group of people. And I was like, are y'all here for the raid? And mind you, there were like old people. Like old people. And not just like, oh, they're in their 40s.
They're like,
no,
and they're like
only
ones playing
60s,
Pokemon Go right now.
70s. I'm like, I don't even understand this game. I don't understand how to play it. And they were out there like, are you here for the raid, honey? You should park over here. And I'm like, who are you? And they're like, oh, we're from Discord. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, why do you know about something and I don't? Anyway, I was really upset. I'm like, I still feel stupid. And this old lady is training me how to use
because you have that
Pokemon
Leander quality internet. So it's not even worth your
and
time
it's really
learning.
slow and crashing. My poor iPhone 6 is struggling.
Yeah. We'll continue.
Oh, Jesus.
Skype is cool.
Skype. Okay. So this whole thing happens from August to maybe April or May. Okay.
Almost hit the year. Almost.
Yeah. And every time there was a holiday or like a weekend I could drive down, I would go down. And I think he came once or twice to visit San Antonio. And then we would like go up to Austin or something. So, everyone's telling me like, oh, like he's so serious about you. No, you're good.
That just made me laugh.
No, but
it's like,
they want to leave.
Come
they
here to pick you up, but let's go up north.
Yeah. And we were going to like a rave. Yeah. Like that was the time. I still get emails about that rave. I'm like, can you leave me alone, please? This is a bad reminder. Yeah, and so I would visit him. We'd spend like the whole weekend together, and then he'd be so upset. His family's telling me like how different he is, and that like I'm so sweet, we love you, and he's so serious about you. He talks about you all the time. Like even his friends say that. Then it started getting weird. There was a girl that he was in a class with. She was super young, Jewish, and like had a bad relationship with her parents, and so he kind of like was like looking over her, just like worried about her and making sure she eats, like all that kind of stuff. And I thought she was weird. That was the bottom line. I didn't like her. And like they were in a study group because he was like studying to be an EMT. When he wanted to be an anesthetologist, anesthesiologist.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's an
anesthetician? I don't know how to say it.
It's like I was getting ready to Google that.
So he was wanting to do that for money because obviously acting wasn't going to work anymore.
It's tough,
so
man.
He wanted to train with that, and so they were taking classes together because I guess she was wanting to be a nurse. And so they were hanging out a lot. And for the most part, he was always telling me like, "Oh, she's like a sister. Like I just care about her." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, weird. He was always wanting to venture out. He was really into porn and like doing crazy things, which I was not. I kind of like my go-to things. Yeah. Like, I mean, some of it was kind of fun, like to experiment and everything, but a lot of it was, I was like, why do you want to do this?
You're like a jazz musician. You want to play the standards. I get it.
Like, and there were some things that I was like, that's my line. And he's like, well, let's go over the line. I'm like, no. I have a line for a reason. And anytime I went over it, I didn't like it. And so he was always wanting to do like threesomes and like butt stuff. And I'm like, I'm uncomfortable with it. But like, I was so deep at that point.
Literally.
And yeah. And oh God. Yeah. And so there were always these like high expectations and I couldn't always meet them or whatever. And he kept wanting to do a threesome. I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't like to share. I'm like very stubborn. Like I want things for myself. Like I'm selfish. And I was like, well, anyway, like there's no one in this town that I would even like share with. Like I was like, all these girls are like trailer park. Like, I was like, it would have to be like a really hot girl where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, and I'm like, you're really not going to find anyone that's going to be up to my standards anyway. So I'm just going to say, no, it's not going to work. Like I couldn't imagine like him being with someone else. I was like, like that was weird to me. And I know some people are real into it, like seeing their partner with someone else, they get off on it. I don't think that's for me.
The cuck and the something else. I forgot. There's like 2 words. I just learned recently, like the proper terminology, but I can't remember it. I don't remember.
Pull out that Urban Dictionary. That's all I do. I don't know these things. Yeah, and very weird. Always bring it up. And then eventually he kept like pushing away. And the last time we hung out, it was very awkward. He didn't want to like do anything. He was like very distant. Then, and it was in Austin, like it was at Spring Love, that rave.
Spring Love with no love.
Exactly. No love. So I go home, and then he finally goes back, and then he goes into this whole thing that he has it hurts when he pees, right? And I'm like, okay, well, just go to the doctor. Maybe you have like a infection. I was like, shit happens. Like, girls get them all the time. Boys get them too. So he's like, no. This is your fault. Like, you gave me something. And I was like, why would it like just show up now? Like, I don't have anything. I get tested yearly. Like, it's not me. He's like, no. You've been with more people. So it's your fault. So I'm freaking out. And he goes to the doctor and talks to a nurse who doesn't even look at his chart. He's like, oh, yeah, you have chlamydia. And I'm like, did you even ask them to like look at your chart? She just like told you over the phone, which you're not supposed to do. And I was like, you better double check because I don't think that's right. Because he went to some free clinic or whatever. And he's like, no. Like, you definitely gave it to me, blah, blah, blah. This is all your fault. I'm freaking out and crying because I was like, well, what if I did? Even though, like, I haven't been with that many people, but he's been with like 2 or 3. So I go to UTSA clinic, y'all. And I go and I say, I could have been susceptible to chlamydia. I just want to get tested and make sure I'm good. And they're like, okay, cool. So I'm still like upset because suddenly I'm at a clinic that I don't know with my feet up in the stirrups. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
And which is weird. I don't know if this is like, it's probably too much. But like at my doctor, they use like metal instruments and then they were using all plastic. And it was just like a very weird sensation. And they were like, I just want
to reiterate what you just said. UTSA. And that's it.
True.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's true. Yeah. And there were like several people in the room too. So they like swab and they're like, okay, so we'll put you on this round of medicine. And because I had medical allergies, I had to be like on a different strain. They're like, you're just going to have to be on it longer. And I'm like, okay, great. So I'm taking these meds for like 2 straight weeks. So I take it and then they finally call me back and it feels like ages later, but it's probably like a day. And they're like, no, you're good. You don't have anything. Like, you're fine. So I'm relieved. I was still upset and crying. And I tell them, like, hey, like, I just got the test results back and it wasn't me. Like, I don't know what's going on or like what you have, but like, I don't have it. I'm on the medication, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh yeah, I meant to tell you it's just a UTI. Like, he's, doing the cranberry juice and taking the meds. So like this whole week I was like upset and everything. Like, he was making me feel like shit and like that, I was like some whore that gave him some STI or whatever STD. I don't know what it is now. Yeah. So like that was the point where I noticed he was being weird and so rude. And then he backed off even more. And I think it was maybe a week later. It was so soon afterwards. He was like, yeah, I don't think we should talk anymore. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like trying to call him on the phone. And he's like, no, I can't talk right now. The girl's here. And I was like, okay, then we'll like write down your response. Like, what's going on? And he's like, no, I don't think it's a good time to like be close or whatever. And I was about to move back. Well, this was in summer and I was graduating in December. So like, we would have the summer together and then, I'd be back in like 6 months for good. Went through this whole thing and he's like, no, I just not feeling it. I don't think it's going to work. Like, I'm trying to focus on school, which is all bullshit. He wasn't very good at school anyway. And then I find out that she moved in because like, oh, she had a fallout with her parents and, you know, she's moving in here. And I was like, that's weird. Like, that's weird to me. But I was like, okay, I'm trying to be like trusting or whatever, because I can be a jealous bitch because it's just like, I don't know what's going on and I need to have all the answers.
The uncertainty.
Yeah. And especially because he's so far away, I can't see. And I don't have like the friends that'll be like, oh, I saw this happen and like fill me in. I don't have those. And I finally go back and I'm like texting him. I'm like, hey, can you just like meet me and we can just have a talk about it? And it was like a full-on breakup. He's like, well, it's really weird because you're so upset, but we were never dating. And I'm like, I get that we weren't dating, but we were. Like, you can say so many times that we weren't together, but we spent so much time with each other. I think that's bullshit. Like, and he eventually said, well, like, the reason I don't think it's going to work is because I just don't find you sexually attractive anymore. And that was his reason. And I was already at a low point at that point because I am not confident in myself. But like in that relationship I got more confident, and then that just killed it. And I went right back into my old like habits, which is like restrict myself, don't eat, you're ugly, you're fat. Like, and so I just went through like a real deep level, and I was pissed because I got him a sweatshirt from Think Geek. He was really into Star Wars, and I got him. This probably dates it because it was so long ago, but it was brand new. Like, it was a hoodie you could zip up, and it looks like you're Darth Vader. So I had gotten him that. So I had this giant hoodie for Star Wars. And I was like, I don't want this fucking thing. I'm not going to keep it. I don't like Okay, I do like Star Wars within reason. But at that point, I did not like Star Wars. It reminded me of him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want this jacket. I was like, I'm pissed. And at some point, I was like, hey, where you at? And he was like, I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I stopped by his house and drop it off with his mom. His mom's like, I miss you so much, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, there's a moth.
Oh, that noise?
Yeah, there's a moth on the ceiling. Okay, as long as it doesn't come over here, I'm good.
I'm sure it's probably
it's going to smell my fear.
It's not
going to come over here.
There's two big-ass white lights.
I know,
so
but just head towards the light and die.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I took it over there, and I was like, I texted him after I left, and I was like, hey, I left your present. Like, I bought it back in March. Like, I hope you have a good birthday or whatever, but like, I didn't want to have it anymore. And he's like, oh, really? I thought you were going to come out, because I said where I was. I was like, why would I show up at Buffalo Wild Wings when you, like, that's so weird. It'd be like, if you text me, I'd be like, oh, hey, where you at? And I'm like, I'm at Whataburger. If you showed up at Whataburger, that'd be a little weird. Like out of nowhere, just show up. And especially after all the drama and me crying in my car. So he sends me a picture and he's wearing it. He's like, oh, this is so cool. Like, you know me so well, blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, hey, like, I wanted to do something special for my birthday. Like, and I wanted to invite you. And I was like, oh. And in my mind, the horrible part of my mind is, oh, he wants me back. It worked. The Darth Vader sweatshirt worked. No. He was like, hey, like, thinking of doing a 3-way. And she said that you were so cool with the sweatshirt. And so she wanted to invite you to be the third person. First of all, from the get-go, I said never her because I think she's gross. And I'm like, you already know the answer to that. And I'm like, I can't believe you suddenly want to sleep with her after you said that you don't like her and you never did. And then it was just this long pause. And I was like, you've already been sleeping with her, haven't you? And he's like, yeah. Oh, I forgot a big part of the story. I'm so sorry. I skipped ahead.
No, you good. You good.
I did. It is a big, important part. So you know that like terrible part of my mind where I was like still in love with him and I thought I was going to make it work? Okay. So I tried to be the cool person to be like, oh, yeah, we're good. So we can hang out and it's nothing. We go to a comedy show and it's like him and his friends, and it's super awkward because he brings her and his friends are there and they're all like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, and I fucking know it, but I'm like, I'm trying to be cool. Like, I'm the cool girl, blah, blah, blah. And you know how like the comedy acts will like point out someone and be like, oh, how are you, blah, blah, good.
You got one of those cool situations?
Oh, just wait. They were sitting next to each other. And I was like trying to be cool and be across the table. And he points them out. He's like, oh, how long have you two been a couple? And of course he yells out, oh yeah, several weeks. And at this point we had just broken up, like maybe 2 weeks ago. And it feels like someone shot me, because like that was a shock of like, that's why. It was like, I was trying to, say that, oh, it wasn't because he didn't find me sexually attractive anymore. I knew that was truth. Like in my head, that was truth. But he chose her over me, which I had my shit together. I was graduating. Like I have had like good jobs and everything. And I feel like I had my life together way better than her. But I was like, but you're choosing her. Even though you said you didn't like her, you're choosing her. And that's like what hit me. And I remember distinctly going to the bathroom and like losing my shit. I gave myself like 2 minutes. Like where I looked at it, I was like, that's long enough that a girl can pee, and I lose it. And of course, the nice thing about girls is that we support each other no matter what. And so, like all the girls in the bathroom, we were all like in it to win it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what's going on, hon? Like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I just found out my guy was cheating on me. And they're like, oh, you better get back at him. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And so I like pee and whatever, and she walks in. Oh, I'm just remembering this. I have a terrible memory, so it's like coming back to me. So she walks in and I have to like be fine. Yeah. Which it can be so hard, but I pulled it off apparently. She's like, oh my God, are you having so much fun? I'm like, no. So I go back and I'm like, fuck this asshole. Like I wasn't going to go home because I wasn't going to let him win. Right. So I go out to the bar and the comedy show is still going on. And I go out to the bartender and I'm like, what is the most disgusting drink you can make? I want you to make it and send it over to the table to them and say it's for me. And
what's the reaction from that, actually?
Wait, no. And the bartender goes, huh? And I was like, oh, I just found out that he's cheating on me. So I don't care what you mix together, like off of the mat or whatever alcohols. I just want it to be nasty. And she's like, girl, I got you. Yeah. So they put together a drink. It looks like vomit, battery acid, and like something else mixed together.
Did they keep that on top? Is that
like, I don't know what they did, but it looks so nasty. And so the girl takes it over and she like points over to me. And so he looks over back at me and he's like, and I'm like, bitch, you don't even know. So I watch as he downs this thing like a shot. It was in one of those like big tumbler, like tall ones. Yeah, yeah. Takes this whole shot. And I just see him like, and he's like, I don't know what that was, but it was kind of strong. I was like, oh, well. I was like, I don't know what it was. But that was like the only time I got a little bit of revenge. So since, I mean, the last time I talked to him was the phone call where he wanted the 3-way. Last time I saw him was, I think, that comedy show. So it's been years since I've seen him. And for a long time, I think he had unfollowed me or blocked me or something. I don't think
he... Oh, man, you say no to the 3-way. You get blocked?
No.
You get blocked? Is that how it works?
I can't remember if he blocked me or I just like literally couldn't look at him, which is probably the case. Well, I decided to creep, as you do. It was late at night. I was like, let's see what's going on. Let's see if like he unblocked me. So I find him and there he is. And there's a picture of him with a girl. Not the same girl. Thank God. She's uglier. Sorry. I sound like a bitch because I am in this case. And it says engaged to. And I'm like, huh. So I click onto her page and you can see a lot more. And he had like just proposed. He got down on one knee in a hair salon in a tux, like judging so hard. This was the same man that said, I could never get married. I could never be in a long-term relationship. Don't want kids, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like those are always the ones that after me get married and have kids. So I see he's engaged and I'm just like infuriated. And then there's all these pictures of them together. And that probably hurt me more than him being engaged. Like, you can love whoever the fuck you want. What hurt me was the whole relationship. I could never take pictures with him. I could never post anything. I couldn't post his name. I mean, even now, I'm still not saying his name because I'm trying to be nice, but I would love to blast you everywhere. He was so scared of being found. He had this ego that like, oh, everyone knows me. And one of the people that he had worked with, it's very famous, and said, just do it. You know, that guy.
Yeah.
So,
Shia LaBoosh.
Yeah, Shia LaBoosh.
Yeah.
So he was like, and people were always asking him about Shia. And I'm like, I know damn well you don't talk to Shia anymore. But he was so scared. He's like, oh, I have stalkers, blah, blah, blah. They're going to find me. And anytime I would like post something, because that was when social media was very important to me. I was on Daily Booth. I was on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Oh, that was where you would post. It was before Instagram. And you would post a picture a day, Daily Booth. And you would just do a picture of your life. And then Instagram came out and killed it. That makes me feel old. Anyway, so I was doing a daily thing a day, and I liked it because it was almost like a daily diary. And for me that has trouble with memory, I don't know why this happened as I got older, but it jogs my memory. I see a picture and I'm taken back. So I love doing it every day. And anytime he would see it, he would like creep on my stuff and be like, you posted my name, you got to change that. Or like at first when I didn't know, I had posted some pictures and it was so blurry and like washed out from like bad lighting or whatever. You honestly wouldn't be able to recognize him. But he was like, no, you can't post that. Like they're going to come find me and blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
they're going to come find.
Yeah. And I was like, are you serious? So I had to like crop him out of everything and like repost it. And then
that almost sounds, I don't know shit about relationships, man, but that almost sounds like a warning sign right there.
Yeah, it just it should have just been a one and done thing. But like we worked so well together and I got along with his friends really, really well and his family liked me. And it was just like, I don't know, like too good for him. That's what I'm going to say now. But like, yeah, that's what hurt me more is that she was allowed to post that they were together and then she's the one that gets chosen. And so it's just like, even though it had been 8 years and I saw that recently and I just like, my heart broke. Damn. And every time I drive into my hometown, I'm worried about running into him because I'm like, what would he think? Like, would he talk to me? Like, what would happen? I know he's still there and he's like being an EMT and like saving lives and shit. Like, good for you. But like, I don't know what I would do because I did see that girl, not the new one, the original girl at the mall one time. And I felt like I was having like an anxiety heart attack. And I was like, I hate that happened to me because of that person. And so ever since, I am not confident about myself. I feel like anytime anyone is interested in me, I'm like, why? And I push myself off. And so this is why I'm still single. Like, I am in my own way and I know it. It's just I can't open myself up anymore because of that. And I know that's like deep and it's dramatic to like go back.
I didn't even see that tie-in coming. You were like, all right, but this is the moment as to why it still is right now. I didn't even see that part coming. I was like,
thanks. Yeah, and it's like,
this is why I use bad lighting. Bugs don't attack. They don't come.
Yeah. I'm just trying to catch all the bugs.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the little guys. It's the big guys that make noise. Then I can't.
Gotcha.
I wish I could get over it.
You can get over it. You just need to figure it out.
It's been 8 years and I'm like barely okay with it.
Shit. So, I mean, like, but like, I'm not saying I don't know shit. I don't know the fucking answers, right? Like, but what I'm saying is, there's my friend in Hawaii. She was a big proponent. I think at the time, I don't think I said this, but I think at the time I was like, man, I don't know. I was just skeptical of it, but like, I think, is it called therapy or therapist or some shit, right? Like, therapy. I don't know. I clearly haven't. No, I have done it. I haven't done it as me, as the, to quote the doctor in my form, right? I haven't done it in like as this adult, but I forgot as a child I was in therapy. I got kicked out though.
How did you get kicked out?
I was very young, maybe very bad. I don't think I was. Maybe I was bad, but I don't know if I was like bad. But I'm talking about young, so I'm talking about this is like it's definitely in the single digits. I don't know which higher or lower, but like I don't know. Like I don't even remember why. This is a story from my mom. I only have like fragments of it. I just remember being in an office. Apparently, sometimes I would just be real silent and not say nothing. Yeah. So I think she was like, "You're just wasting your money at this point," because this kid, apparently, I was trained to be a prisoner of war. I ain't gonna talk. I guess I'm just not gonna talk. And they weren't torturing me hard enough. They didn't do waterboarding on children, I guess. But yeah, like I don't remember why. So maybe I was just really antisocial or something. I don't know, man. I feel like there was something wrong with me. But that's not why I was saying you should go to. So I think it helped my friend with what stuff she's like. Once she moved, she became very private. So I can't even tell you like what it even was. But I think later on I was able to put some pieces together. Also relationship issues, But yeah, like that can help for people. Now, as the internet has brought us together, right, for better and worse, there's a lot of things that, we're being more and more true to ourselves and to the public, right? So one of my, I don't know if he's my favorite rapper. I was about to say favorite rapper, but it's only because sometimes I can be influenced by people who are close to me. Probably the closest thing I have to a best friend. I've known him since first grade. We were enemies twice even.
Ooh, New York those are the best, frenemies.
I only remember one of them, though. I don't remember the second. The second one was probably light enemies. Where it's just like, we just didn't talk for a month, maybe. But like, but this is all when we were children, though. So now we cool. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to know each other to the day we die, probably at this point, anyway, so he's a big fan. But either way, this rapper, Royce 5'9", he made our album recently. He's a top tier lyricist, right? But the reason his last album's about mental health. And he just talks about that. And like, he's like, man, his he likes his stuff, but he's like, man, I hope that my dad don't get too offended by this one. And he's basically saying, how the family, not that it ruined him, but, affected him in ways, but like through therapy and other things, it was able to do that. And he was basically saying, like, especially, and I get it, I ain't black or nothing, but I grew up in New York, so I was around that a lot. And just so coming in that hip hop culture, like, ain't no one trying to see a therapist, ain't no one trying to see, that's not number 1 through 10 of a solution. You know what I mean? Now as older people, maybe my friends from there, we can like accept that now because we're a little bit wiser, but I bet you the younger generation of us right now still ain't about that, Yeah. But yeah, that dude, and he was a super addict to alcohol, especially. He was like crazy drunk. So like things like therapy did help him. But like, so that was a famous example, and like I had a friend example. But those things I feel like helped me. I guess I probably haven't solved all my problems, but I think I've gotten better with some of them. And I don't know if it helped, but maybe it did. I went hard searching for meditation, because I always heard all this shit about it. Like it seemed like the answer, because I was looking like for the answer, right? The answer to life or whatever it is. But just the answer to like flip the switch to make shit good, right? And I didn't find it, right? But you don't find it. It's all this whole within thing that sounds like bullshit, but it's also true. But I still think whatever it is I did, it does something. Like
Yeah.
What sucks is that even meditation itself doesn't exist. Everyone does it differently. Like there's no good answer for that. But I think what it has done is made me like, I don't know if highly self-aware or at least more self-aware of both myself and other things.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where I was able to like almost like, it doesn't happen anymore. It was just for a little time. So maybe it's just me blowing myself up, but I was almost able to like foresee like my interactions with people. It was like, see where this is going. This is nothing here or like that.
Yeah.
But either way, like it just kind of helped me be like I said, more self-aware and like take care of myself a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I feel like if you go on whatever journey it is you need to for yourself, I bet you can overcome it. Like I say, even if you need to do like professional help, crazier shit, you know, I'll guarantee you will work. I don't know how easy this is to get because this is America, so this is but
okay.
No, but like because I feel like stuff like this is in beta and you got to be like a real, like you can't tell that stuff. Be like, all right, next, you know, like that story wouldn't be good enough. But like I think they'd use it on like high level PTSD victims.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So obviously soldiers, but even like rape victims and trauma victims.
Yeah.
Therapy with DMT. Or like whatever drug it is that does that stuff to you, because I don't know, there's one of those drugs that what's the drug, like the shrooms, right? That's the one, yeah, like I think that can trigger the DMT stuff, the stuff that sends you on a trip, but you do it with a therapist and it's a guided meditation almost. And there's been people like there's been some test studies where it's supposed to be like three trips and stuff, and like after one they're like completely different people and they're like, nah, I'm good, I don't need the other two. Like you did it, whatever it is you were supposed to do, and like they just go on with their life, you know.
That sounds scary.
But stuff like that is no, but they go on their life in a positive way, like all right, they got over whatever it is holding them. But yeah, stuff like that, like I said, like I don't think that stuff is common enough yet. You would have to find like the right like study group or something to make that happen. But
I think the biggest thing with me, and I'm sure a million girls say it, I just want closure. That's what we always say. And
I'm not a girl, but I wanted that too, man. But you know what? Sometimes you don't get that shit. You're never gonna get it. Never. I'm friends. I haven't really. I always like hesitant to say, but like I'm like for the most part, I haven't really had like any like real relationships. You know, it's been like little like I don't know, weeks to months stuff with people here and there. You know, but like I'm friends with all of them except for maybe one. You know, and that's good. The one who just stopped fucking talking to me like at some point, you know, like, and then like after 1 month she was like, hey man, you need to stop like texting me like we're like doing something. And it's like basically like some point like I was at a Spurs game, just text me like this long message about like how we're no longer together. So he does it via text message and shit. I was like, man, you can't even tell me in person or something. And later on, many years later, she tells me, or I think it was a few months later when I get my stuff finally. It was like, oh yeah, but you wouldn't agree and you would like fight for me or something, you know, like not like fight, but you know, just want to stay together. And I was like, yeah, but you would say no and I'd have to deal with it, you know? like, and I'd probably be mad for a few days like I usually am, or sad, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
Like,
but just the way they do it. Yeah. Is where like, it doesn't feel fulfilled. And
yeah, that shit sucked. Like, cause I was like, the only reason I find out like nothing's going on is cause I cared enough to check on how you were doing, you know?
Yeah.
So that shit bothered me for many years, you know? But like everybody else, like I run into them, I'm like, hey man, let's hang out. We doing, you know, like, and it's all cool. I mentioned her name before, but this girl Amber, like we had like, you know, our little like thing together, and it was real brief, but like like she's one of the people that like she recently offered me a room like in California, you know, like to move in, and it's like cool. But that's what I'm saying, like everybody else I got good relationships with, it's just only that one who just like, man, you couldn't just tell me shit to my face like, oh, this ain't gonna work. You just do that. It sucks in the moment and you get over it, you know. But everybody, and
I feel like I could probably, if I ran into most of the people that I dated, it'd be fine. I could put up with it. I'd be like, okay. He's the only one I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I know for sure something would happen. Because I have run into someone that I was still upset over. And it was just really awkward. Like, I happened to be in Las Vegas and he was living there, but he was still in a dark spot. And so it was very awkward and it felt very much like our old relationship. And I was like, okay, you can leave now. But I mean, he's in a much better place and I'm happy for him. And he's like, I don't even know how to talk to you. And I was like, why? And he's like, I treated you like shit. And I was like, yeah, but that was a long time ago. Like, I was like, I've moved on. Yeah. You're in a better place. And like, that's all I've ever wanted for you. Because I mean, he was so deep in drugs. And when I knew him at UTSA, he was like in straight heroin. And I didn't know. I found out way later. And I was like, he explains so many things. But, you know, I just kept wanting good for him. And it just really didn't work out. And we used to yell at each other and everything. I mean, we would fight, but we still liked each other. And now, like, he went through rehab and is working and doing really well for himself. I think he's at a year. So, like, I'm very happy for him. And it's like, it kind of makes all the other stuff go away. And probably because I forgot half of it. So it's like, I'm extremely happy for him. And, like, if we hung out, I'd be, like, excited and happy. But I don't have that closure with the dude. So, I mean, I would hope that I could get to that point. I'm not expecting a wedding invitation.
You need to figure out a way, how to either get over it or let go of it on yourself. For not because less about anything involving them, it's more about you. Because now it's just like being angry at somebody. That whole yin and yang thing, like anger is related to love and all that. So, because basically now you're just fucking yourself. Like you're not even hurting them or nothing. So you need to figure that out. Somehow, you know, I don't know, I got the answer for you, but I mean, like,
it's a lot better than it was. I'll tell you that.
Sure. But there's another mindful, because I hear like, telling like, it gets harder and harder for me to watch entertainment stuff. One, because I almost feel this is ridiculous notion, but sometimes I think it's true, and it's just because maybe I'm just doing the wrong things in my life. But sometimes I feel like entertainment is just for the rich, right? So like. Because it's like, as a person who's still actively creating, I'm like, creation versus consumption. Like, what am I going to do? Create or consume, you know? So I'm like, I better create. But then like, like, especially like, so it was like, look, if I'm going to consume something, like this need to be some real shit. Either fuck with it hard. That's why I was angry at the Netflix shows. Or I need to be learning some shit. So I do be hearing like a lot of like, just, two shows in particular, like two podcasts, where they just be having a lot of doctors or a lot of just people just doing experimental shit that can't necessarily be backed up, or it's just like it's on the front end. Now that we're in entrepreneur land right now, there's a lot of private companies who are just making startups, or a lot of rich people who are making startups, and they're just trying shit that it's not like illegal or nothing, but it's just like it's so ahead that no hospitals aren't gonna really have it. These are like special places. Because they're just on cutting edge science and trying to see if it even is a worthy notion or not. But I'm trying to think if it was one of these neuroscientists who said this idea, or if it's just someone else. But either way, it was on this show, and basically the idea, right, of like, I'm going to butcher it because it's only in my head fragmented, but it's basically like you can kind of like of rewriting the past, right, for yourself, right? Because if by doing that, because this is your self narrative, right? And this is what defines you. So basically like you need to like rewrite that narrative for you. Oh, okay. Because he's just the way he words it makes it sound outrageous. He's basically saying, look, you can change the past. And like, obviously you can't, but you change the past. And by changing the past, because all these self-narratives are what defines us, like I just said. So by just changing the past, right, whether it happened or not, right, like it can change your actions dramatically. I always remembered his saying, because he was saying some crazy cognitive shit. Like it affects you like it really did happen, essentially, you know? So like something as silly as that may sound, like even if you need to rewrite the story for you, just so you can get the closure and move on, you know? Yeah. Because to let that shit affect you, like, you know, like I said, like, you know, at this point, it only hurts you. Like, because now that you checking in on, first off, you know, checking in on them is always bad. I do that too. But I mean, checking in is always bad. I do that too, even like with fucking normal people, just because, like, what the fuck, you know, fuck me no more. You know, like I was just telling you about this one partner earlier. at a certain point, it's just only affecting you, you know? So you need to just figure it out somehow. That's what I was saying. Like, even if you gotta go to some sessions or something, some therapy sessons, you're a student now, you should check. Sometimes they, remember, right? They got free counseling or some shit, you know?
Oh my gosh. I remember at UTSA, they had these like psychology experiments that like if you volunteered, you would get credit for class.
Oh, wow.
So of course I was like, all right. So there was one that I signed up for. And you like go in and it's like, okay, you need to sit at the computer, answer the questions, and then you leave. And I'm like, this is so easy for extra credit. So we went, and one of those, I guess I can say it now. They said I couldn't talk about it, but I think it's been long enough. So you go in, look at the computer, and it says, if you found I think it was $10. You found $10 on the ground. And someone else like comes up. Would you keep the money for yourself? Would you give it to the other person, or would you split it? I, being the fair person, no. Like if you found $10 and you could share it with someone that you don't know, a stranger. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to share. Yeah, I totally split it, right? And goes through all these questions. And then it says at the end, they're like, okay, next to your computer is an envelope. It has $10 in it. You do whatever you want to do. And so I'm like, oh, what? And so I look, and there is $10 in there. And of course, I'm like, I'm real hungry, and, you know, I could get some sushi over at the little grocery store. And I'm just sitting there. And I guess I answered the questions really quickly because I kind of like looked around at the other people, and no one else was looking at the envelope yet. They were taking their sweet ass time. So, and I could see like the two people watching, and I'm like, this is a dilemma. So I'm sitting there, and it was supposed to be like, I guess for the group coming in next of like what was left. I'm guessing like the second group would get whatever you left or whatever, and be like, the group before you sucks. Or maybe they reset it and it never happens. But I sat there for a good minute thinking about being an asshole and taking all the money so I could have a snack. But I was nice because there was like 2 5s in there. So I just took one. I did what I said, and I put it down, and I just got up and left because that's what I said. It's like, take your money or leave it or whatever, and go. And I was like walking out. I was the first one out, and I was like, this is so weird. I was like, is this legit? Is this real money? And I did go get myself a snack. But it's one of those things of like, are you actually going to go through with what you said, or would you be selfish and take it? Or did you say, oh, yeah, I'm going to give it all to a stranger because I don't need any money. And then you decide, you know what? Maybe I should keep it. Like, what would you do?
Are you asking me right now?
Yeah. Would you split it? Or?
So that I was actually computing that, right, as you were saying it. That's weird because, so I was computing it from your point of view. So in the study, I wouldn't even know how to answer the question, right? Because it's all fake. Because whatever I say here doesn't actually pertain to the real scenario, right? So I'll just probably pick something at random. And then the money part, right? When there's actually money, again, I was like, this is also fake because this is a study and not real. So because it's a study, I'm more inclined. I still don't know what I'd really do, but I'm more inclined to take all of the 10 because I don't necessarily care about their findings, and because I know this isn't real. I know, like, I'm an asshole for data, but I'm not an asshole for nobody because this is just them testing. So none of this is real. So I'm like, it's like almost take it. Versus in the real world, would I actually take it? I would like to think I might be more inclined. First off, I find $10. I'm taking that shit. Dead ass, right? That's New York. Just straight up taking that shit.
It's yours.
It's one of the, but if people come up, then maybe, I might be more inclined to like, oh, my bad, like this is your shit, whatever, you know? Versus in the study, like I'm probably just taking it because I just know, I'm aware that this is not real. Versus what you do in real, like here's an example of what I'm saying. I'm probably, maybe you do understand, but like, yo, in my head, yo, like whether it's both guys and girls, but pretty much all those shitty ass motherfucking communicators, yo, I don't even want to imagine this, but I'm always imagining the fuck I'm gonna do the next time I see these motherfuckers. Yo, like,
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be a hard asshole. And now at this point, I get angry that I'm even thinking about this. But then 2, I'm also like, I always tell myself, yo, you let your mind run wild with this, because at this point, I've proven to myself that 99% of the time, I always just pick the PC choice. I don't even do whatever I think. I always end up doing something nice. So I'm just like, all right, maybe this is where I vent my anger. Like in my little, like when I take these showers and I think like, oh, next time I see you, I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna be such an ass to you, because I'm like pretty sure I'm not, because I usually am not. Like, so I'm like, you be an ass right now. You do it right now. So. I almost feel like, so I'm like, if the scenario is fake like that, I'm like to think I'm probably going to take the 10. But
now, would it be different if they were like right next to you watching you?
Yeah.
Like they were at like different ends, but if they were like behind you or they handed you the envelope?
I would like to think is this all mine? I like more inclined to take it, because again, it's still fake, because you're a doctor and none of this is real.
I felt like they were watching me, so I was like, they're gonna know I'm an asshole, and it was like metaphorical, like,
but it's all
shame.
Fake, they don't know. Yeah, they don't know me, and it's a study, so it's not.
But
real.
Like, imagine if you were the second group, if it turned out, and they're like, okay, what's in the envelope is what the person before you left,
got paid,
and you just like open it up and it's empty
because the promise was credit. So the study is not losing nothing either. Those students they're getting what they were originally. The agreement was this. The agreement wasn't credit. The agreement wasn't like, yo, you might get some $10. Fuck, plus it's $10. Fuck $10. I can't change their life.
But I don't want someone to be mad at me.
Yeah, but this is me right now in this moment. That doesn't mean me in the past would probably be more weaker cognitively, and me tomorrow could be a completely different person.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I remember it took me like a straight minute, and I was like, this is hard.
I get it, man. I get it.
I like almost didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
It's like, real money.
Yeah. Like, this is what it looks like.
And the money and
the plague of the college student.
Yeah.
I feel like, and there's nothing wrong with this, but in my head, I'm like, yo, I feel like we got like 3 stories like out of all this.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And we can keep going, but I feel like I won't need to do one stop more. So I kind of want to, I'm going to do the life questions and we're going to wrap it up. All right.
Yeah.
I believe the first one, I'll check my phone for the rest, but I believe the first one is, fuck.
Professional here.
That's why God made editing. Oh yeah, okay. What's one thing you believe? And it sucks too, because I wanted to dive more deep into that last one. I still might, because I'm a tangent king. But I might if I go backwards,
All right.
But anyway, what do you believe that other people are crazy? What do you believe that other people think you're crazy for believing? This is why we read them off the phone, because I forgot.
Well, not all people, but I believe in stupid shit that doesn't make sense. Like, I like to believe in not so much like a god or anything, but like supernatural. Like, I think it's fun to believe in ghosts and horoscopes and palm reading, tarot cards. None of it can be proven, and it's all just either people making up shit or, how they experience things. Maybe they didn't actually feel cold. It happened to be the AC came on or anything like that. It's fun to believe that there's something past where we are, and there's a way to look at the future or be able to read someone so well that you know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
So I always like to have my tarot done, even though like people are like, that's a waste of money. Why do you believe that when you're so logical, scientific? I'm like, because it's fun. And I believe some people truly do have a talent for it. Some people are fake. Long Island medium. Do not like her. But no, and she's here in Austin and she's amazing. We always go to Scream Hollow.
Yeah.
The best haunted house attraction if you have not been. It's in Smithville. It's set in the woods, and it's just this local tradition. It's real chill and like just amazing. So she's always there, and she's like a witch, and so she does the tarots, and every time she does it, it's so spot on. And she basically, the last time she told me, because I was like, I want to know about my love relationships, because of course, like you always want like a glimpse, like they say wait 6 months. Wait 6 months. Like, you can rest easy for 6 months. So she was like, girl, you do not have enough time in your life for a man. You have to make time for a relationship because right now you don't have time for it. I hadn't spoken like almost no words to her, and she had me spot on. That like, I do not make any time for even my own things, let alone to make time for a man.
Yeah, that's how you get me beating you up about videos.
Yeah. Like, it's like, why do I think that I'm going to have time for another person when I don't even make time for myself?
Yeah, you got to take care of that shit first, man.
So I think there's like fun, you know, supernatural things. And I love to believe in that, even though it's just silly, but it's fun.
So even though, so I said I was going to go back to this. So like, even though you said it's been like 8 years and stuff, how do you think you go about fixing your mindset to have that like proper self-esteem so that when people say they like you, you don't say why? I almost started doing this as a joke, just to play like, because I like saying things that you're not supposed to say. So like
yeah.
So like I was in Dallas a few weeks ago, and this girl like I met her. I hadn't seen her in a while since my last thing, but she's being more honest too. So we eat, and she's like, "Man, like it's been a while since I seen you last job, man. I remember the first time I saw you, I told Danny like, man, I have a crush on you." And I was like, "Yeah, I knew you did." And same thing. She's like, "Man," she said something complimenting me how good I look, and I was like, "I know." That's it. And it ain't being like. And it's not even so much that I believe, but I'm kind of saying it more because just like properness usually would say that you're not supposed to say those things. You know, you're not supposed to respond. Be humble, right? Like the great poet Kendrick Lamar said, you know. So I
oh no,
he did say that. He said
he did.
Followed by a lot of hold up bitches, and you know, and that's it. But yeah, like I kind of do it, but I think like doing that shit enough, like I feel like it kind of does something to you, you know?
Yeah.
I think for me, man, because I'm like I said, man, I do like a lot of like self-exploratory shit, so it's almost like I can almost hear those things, and it's almost like it's weird. Like I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands, but I'm like
it helps.
Yeah, I'm trying to like envision something that I can't even describe, but it's like it's almost like I don't know, man. It's this weird thing of like that's gonna make no sense. It's like nothing exists, so like everything exists, right? So it's just like, so it's like, you know, all possibilities are possible, whether they're possible or not. So it's just like,
yeah,
I don't know. So I hear those things, and it's like they don't even affect me good or bad anymore, you know. So it's I don't know. But I think that's come like with time and maybe a lot of like crazy shit to my mind. But yeah, like how, like if you knew the answer, you wouldn't even feel those things anymore. But like, what do you think could be to like begin to fix that?
I just have to learn to love myself as is.
But how does one do that?
I don't know, because usually the only time I feel confident is like if I got like a cute outfit on, or I got some makeup thrown on my face. Even though I always go to work with no makeup, and I give no fucks. And like, I'm just like, okay, I'm clothed. Like I'm here. Like appearance is like down. And a lot of time where I was really confident was when I had the colored hair, all the different colored hair, pink, blue, silver, green. Like I had so many different ones. And every time I had a new one, I was like invigorated, and I loved it. And I was like, feeling myself and everything. But as soon as work was like, hey, we need to be more conservative, no more colored hair, I was like,
fucking work. I swear.
So I feel like ever since, like that kind of like dulled me a little bit. Yeah. And so every time I go get my hair done, she's like, oh, we're doing more blonde. I'm like, this is so boring.
Colored hair is the shit.
I know. It's new. And every time you wash it, it's a new shade. Yeah. As it fades out, and like the ones I use, it'll fade into neat colors. And
need a new job.
So like for me, I'm like, oh, it's the same every day. I wash my hair, it's the same color, it's the same blonde. Now this time we went a little lighter, and so it felt different. Yeah. And so that gave me confidence. And for some reason, for the past couple months, my hair was disgusting. Like, let me tell you, it looked greasy, it looked nasty. I didn't like post any pictures online. I was like, why is my hair so gross? And every time I wash it, it looked like I hadn't washed it at all. And sometimes I would blow dry it, look a little better, but I was like, I don't know what's going on. So finally get into my hair appointment because it got put off. She's like, your hair has buildup on it. I'm like, it's clean. And she's like, well, what shampoo are you using? And I told her, and she's like, that is way too heavy for your hair. I had a repair shampoo. And she's like, girl, your hair is repaired. And so it was just building up for months. Every time I would wash it, it would build up more. And so she's like, the reason it was better when you blow dried it was burning some of it off. And so like once she finally like bleached it this time and I'm just using normal shampoo, it's all soft and it brought me confidence because I was like, my hair's not disgusting. Because I was just sewing my hair up every day because it was nasty. Like when you've been out in the 100-degree heat and got sweaty and it just kind of like sticks to your head. That's what it felt like every time. And I'm like, what the hell? So the hair, I mean, a girl's hair is always like real close to them. So I don't know. I just got to get used to what's in the mirror. And I don't know how to do that yet, but I don't think I ever did.
You gotta have to do some like.
I rely on guys to tell me I'm pretty.
You can't do that.
I know, and then my problem is
because it doesn't even matter the guy part. You just relying on someone else in general. Yeah, because you gotta have to do.
Or I compare myself to my hot friends. I'm like, well, they're prettier and they're getting all the attention, and I'm the awkward one.
You can't do that, and I do that less with looks and more with like. I'm not rich, you know, like more with like other people's journeys who may be on a more successful looking path from the outside looking into, because not all those paths are great when you find out more. Because I got a homie in Dallas who like I'm always like, and I'm cool with him too, so it's like, but I'm always like, man, dude, this motherfucker's always doing entrepreneurial shit. Then I'm like hanging out with him it's around the same trip with that girl I told you, but I'm hanging out with him and he's telling me like, dude, I'm like 6 digits in debt.
Oh no!
But I'm confident he's gonna get out, and I think so is he. But because you know because he hasn't had a real job in years, he just only does his own businesses. But when you're doing that, you know, sometimes things go good and sometimes things go bad.
I was about to judge him for being 6 figures in debt, and I am like,
oh, fuck.
Oops. It happens.
And you work for someone. No offense, but I mean, like
sure do. I need to pay it back.
Like,
yeah.
But I don't even remember why I brought that up. Oh yeah, just like other people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Outside looking in, other people's narratives look amazing, even though they might not be. So yeah, you can't do that. And obviously, that shit's easier said than done. That's some shit you got to get through time. See. He's like, fuck my current narrative too. I want to be out. He's like,
let me out.
But I mean, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Yo, like maybe check. I can tell you, like, I don't know if they'll help at all. But like I got 4 meditations and like I only do one of them. I got like 4 that I really like. I'll probably have them all in the email too. So like that's all written out in way too much detail. So I can like even forward you that shit. But at some point too, man, try the therapy thing too. Yeah. That might be a thing too.
I feel like
because you gotta get it down to the mind, man.
Yeah,
it's important, but you gotta get it down to you. That way, no matter what scenario is, like you're on your side and you're fighting for you, and you can't let that shit come.
Get back to things I love, like it's gonna help. And even though, like doing school stuff again, like it's a lot, but it's in a subject I really like. Except for some of it, reading about a lot of rape is a lot. But like rape and racial profiling, like if I can find a balance where I can also fit in making videos or like creating something, like you say, I think that'll be a good balance because I've started, you know, doing work, leaving on time, relatively didn't happen today. And then, you know, I come home, get my studying done, and then I take him out on a walk. Before, I was only studying, being too tired, didn't walk, gained like 15 pounds.
Oh, man.
Because I just like wasn't moving. I was just like, and he gained it too.
I think that happened to me, and that because I was doing all this so much that I was just, all I do is sit down when I edit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of forcing other things to me. Like, but I'll continue and then I'll say what I was going to say after you're done.
No. It's just like, you don't realize like our creative habits have us sitting and like immobile. Like when I first got a Fitbit and now I have an Apple Watch, it goes off like every hour to be like, you should stand up. And I felt like it was going off all the time, like annoying me. I'm like, it just went off. And it's like, stand up. So I'm like, it's been an hour and it flew by. So like at work, like I feel like it's always going off. Or when I would be editing, I'd be sitting there and I'm like working on this much video.
Because you just get in the zone.
Yeah. And then it's going off and you're like, oh, okay, I'll stand up in a second. And then it's already going off again. You're like, oh shit, I didn't stand up. So trying to work that balance. I don't know whether I just need to like integrate my weekends or like, I think if I pick a certain day and like put it on the calendar, I'll get it done. But if I just keep putting it off and be like, if I find time, if I get in the mood, which never happens.
Yeah. You gotta just force it via discipline.
Yeah, because once I start, then I obsess.
Then you dive deep.
And then.
But you know what? Considering the life you live and all of us live, like, so there's a guy, I won't say his name because I feel like this has been like, even though I knew a lot of these things too, man, but this has been very life-changing for me. I heard this dude, Faris Zahabi, talk, right? And he's a jiu-jitsu trainer.
Oh, okay.
But I was hearing him talk, man. He started preaching pretty much things that I've heard years ago from Russians, and he even brought up a certain trainer. And I remember when the internet was just starting, because this guy was like one of those first few Russian fitness people you heard of. And I even knew it, but I was way too young to even understand what he was talking about back then. But essentially, and he's talking about it from a workout perspective, but this can be applied. So I'm in my head, I'm mapping out many things in my head to do these changes. But basically, it was like, look, man, he's on the Joe Rogan show, and he had to explain, because he's like, dude, I never trained to max. I never trained to soreness. I'm never sore. And he's like, never sore, then you're never going hard. And he's like, no, can't go hard because I work out every day. I want to work out every day. If I train to soreness, well, then I can't work out tomorrow. Now I got to take off. I'm a fucking trainer. I can't do that. I got to train these people. I got to be in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's talking about the Russian philosophy, and it's basically like, dude, you just train 70% all time. 70% all time. That way I'm not sore. Still got a good workout, get blood working, whatever, blah, blah. But now I can come back, do it tomorrow. And he was basically preaching volume, right?
Yeah.
So for us, maybe as artists, maybe it'd be like, especially with work day, all this, like, all right, maybe do 30 minutes, right? But he's preaching like a day or 10 minutes, whatever you can get, even if it's 10, because it's still something. But he was preaching volume, because he was like, with pull-ups, right? Let's say I do pull-ups, right? If I do 5, now I'm sore, I can't do anymore, you know, whatever, like for tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's say I do like, or he was saying like, if my max is 10, right? I may not do 10, I'll do 5 every day. But now I do 5 every day for 365 days versus you going hard every 3 days, you know? It's like, at the end of the year, who did more? I've done probably like 100 more than you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for what they do with fighting and stuff, it was like, that's applying that same logic to them practicing and sparring. It's like, that's 100 more hours. That volume adds up to experience. So, and you've always heard a little bit goes a long way and do that. So it's basically that. But me hearing it through something I used to respect highly, the fighting and stuff, like I used to be a big fan of that stuff. I was like, oh shit. So I actually like changed like a lot of my whole yoga routine, like preparing, because I was doing a lot of shit every day. Yeah. Which I'm like, man, if I do get a real job again, like I don't even know how I'm gonna do all this shit. Or sometimes when I have gigs and stuff, I'm like, I don't do anything. So I was like, kind of took it up and broke it all up, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just keep rotating certain things, and just a bunch of shit. I was like, so I can try to do it daily, and I was like, all right, I need to do this with the art too, so that I can do this all the time, because I'm like, I could be falling behind, and usually I go hard on one and I fall behind on the other, you know, like I go hard on podcasts, I fall back in music. I'm like, all right, I need to do this for that way they're all moving forward, they're all improving daily, you know, they just all add up over time. So yeah, that was a long way of saying like, man, like I'm sure you can make 10 minutes, you know, like to work on video, and that might suck, but those 10 minutes over like the whole week would be like an hour and something. That might be an hour more than you did at your normal pace
of the past
of
3
doing,
months.
like, and over the 2 weeks,
it's hard for me to stop once I start. Like when you're editing,
just put it at that Fitbit, put another Fitbit alarm, like
I would get nothing done.
But you will,
yeah.
but you will, and then yeah, and maybe 10 minutes is not for you, maybe 30, whatever it is, you know what I mean? But like that way you can do it every day versus, because I know like when we do these things, we want to sit there for like 8 hours, whatever it might be, but like we don't get paid for it, so we can't right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like maybe try some little everyday type shit, and you find the time for you. Next one is my old famous question: what's your goal in life?
Oh, shit.
I used to care so much about that question. I don't anymore, but it's too good to just throw it away because you get that reaction like you just gave me.
A lot of the goals that I wanted, I've gotten.
Like this house? Like this house?
Yeah, that was one.
Shouldn't that be like a self-esteem builder right there?
Yeah, getting serious.
Yeah.
He was my dream dog.
Okay. Was it really? Like why?
I had wanted him, like I had been researching for like 4 years.
But I mean, why that type of dog was your dream dog?
I just like grew up with corgis around because my mom was obsessed with the royal family, so we were always
It's just like a royal dog.
And so the queen has corgis.
Got you.
So I was always seeing footage of the queen and these little short, stumpy dogs, and I love dogs with like really short limbs or really long limbs. Like I love Italian greyhounds because they look goofy and they're very weird.
Gotcha.
And so I had wanted him, and then. My dog passed away, and he was born 3 days later. No, 5 days later. So, and he came out with like the same markings. That kind of came full circle.
Brought it all in for you.
Because I knew like I couldn't get a dog until I moved here because he was an old Chihuahua, and he's like, I want to be the only dog until I die, and so he was.
Yeah.
And he was a grumpy little goose, and I was on lists and everything, and it was like there were like 90 people on it at that point. Oh, wow. And I got zoomed up to the front of the list. So fill out your paperwork correctly, and it can work out for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
All those little voices you do and stuff, and then when you're talking and stuff, those are things that I'm like, see, that's why you be good on Twitch, because it would just stand out. You don't know because you haven't done it yet.
I know, like I like being able to talk to people. I just think sometimes I'm boring or I have nothing going on or really slow internet. That
last part is true.
That's very true.
The other stuff, I get it, right? But I mean, one is all subjective, right? What's boring to one is not boring to another, and boring is in. Because I don't understand a lot of shit that people like, but people like this shit. You know what I mean? So like, look, man, someone likes that shit. But here, I'll hit you with this anime line from an anime you probably never heard of. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Nope, don't know that one.
I think his name was Kamina. And he used to always tell his partner who had no confidence, don't believe in yourself. Believe in me who believes in you. Oh. As anime corny 101. That was great. That was a fucking great show. It was one of the best. I have 4 animes that are like the god animes for me, and that's one of them.
What are the other 3?
I always forget one of the 4, but I know 3 of them. I bet you I know 3 of them right off the bat. So I told you Tengen Toppa.
Yeah.
Steins Gate's fucking godlike. That shit is good. I don't know if you watch anime or not, or is this
I watch like little bits.
I feel like you should watch Steins Gate because I just think that's so fucking good.
I just feel like there's so much. I'm like, I don't know where to start.
Well, it is. You can't watch all of it because I mean like. The way they've produced over there, it's like how we produce just normal TV. Yeah. But Steins Gate, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, and I don't know the 4th. But there's 4. Like I told you, I was going to name 2.
Number 4 is the best.
I don't know, man. But I mean, number 4, and honestly, I don't even know if it's the same 4th one that I always leave. It might literally be I only always remember 3.
You just always like hold out for it.
And I'm like, so I don't even know if it'll come with me. But sometimes I think, and I don't recall if it's the same one I keep forgetting. But I'm like, this 4th one must not be that good. But I don't know if it's the same one. But those 3 are fucking godlike. And now it's pissing me off that again I don't know. I'm like, I need to write that shit down, like so I can just pull like top anime. But
I used to go to anime conventions all the time with my friend.
Shit.
I got dragged there, and that's kind of how I got into anime.
Gotcha.
And there was like a couple I was obsessed with. And I also like going because they would have like some other movie stuff, like Doctor Who, like before it was really big.
Gotcha.
And like Torchwood had just come out, and so I was like, ooh.
Never got into Torchwood, man. Never got into Torchwood.
So good.
I feel like someone's doing something with Torchwood pretty soon. I don't know if it's new live action stuff, but
it was a new audiobook.
Is that what it is?
Okay. And so they're bringing back the people because I was so excited. They're like, Torchwood's coming back, and I'm like, yeah. And I was
they
like,
always
oh,
clickbait. They always click. They're real good at that, man. They are real good at that.
But you know, the audiobooks are actually pretty good. And
I've heard.
Yeah, I got one for free with like one of the DVD box sets. They're like, here, have like the CD, and I was like, okay. And it had like the actual characters. They didn't have all of them, but they had like who was left. And no spoilers. So I was playing it. It was like listening to an episode. But anytime there was something you needed to see, they would like describe it, but not in like a, oh, look at that green Christmas tree. Like they would do it in a way it didn't feel awkward.
Gotcha.
And like you could see it. And so it's so great for car trips because it's like an entire episode. And if you ever listen to the Doctor Who audiobooks, David Tennant, he'll do the voices like of the people, and he has their mannerisms down so well that like he does Jackie Tyler spot on, and Mickey, and like he'll just imitate them so well.
That's funny.
Yeah. So even the ones where he's just reading a book, it's entertaining. But the ones where they have the specific characters, they're actually pretty good. So.
Thoughts on current Doctor, or the that's about to come up?
Oh, the lady?
Yeah, the trailer, any of the stuff you've seen over Comic-Con. Good, bad?
I feel like there's a lot of people, so I don't know how it's going to come in. I mean,
I don't know why they
Capaldi had
three
just like
one,
and then now there's 3, and I don't know if they're all going to go together, or maybe she switches off.
I feel like they're all going to go together, and it reminds me very much of the old ones. Like Dr. One had like damn Wu-Tang with him, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of the older ones had that. That really hasn't been too much of a I guess our current series going back to number 9. That really hasn't been them, except for like specials where everybody comes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that happened more frequent in the older ones where 2 and 3 companions would show up. So
and it wasn't just like, oh, a girl who kind of likes them, or you know.
It might be a nod to that, but I don't know. Part of me was like, man, they just really didn't want to leave her alone, right? like they just wanted all these other people there. I don't even know what to think of it because I feel like they just still ain't showing shit. Yeah, like they haven't really shown shit. I really like her though, so like
and the director is the same guy that did Broadchurch.
Yeah, so in my head, but already I'm disappointed. Like he's like there are 10 individual episodes and a lot of new shit. Everything's new, right? That's fine. I wanted Broadchurch Doctor Who. I wanted like a 10 episode fucking like event. Yeah, because a lot of the older ones are like movies, yo. Like the same way Sherlock is kind of like 1.5. Yeah, like and it would be like 1.5 an ep, and it would be like 2 to 4 eps. Like a lot of that whole 1980s vibe. I was ready for that. I was like, you fucking making 8 episode movies with Broadchurch. Like, let's do this. And he's like, 1 episode each. I'm like, fuck. I was like,
it's the pacing, because sometimes they lead, and then it's the last 10 minutes, and it's like, wrap it up. And I'm like, no, there needs to be a full arc. Several of the Matt Smith episodes were like that. It was like this big mystery, and then the last 10 minutes, wrap it up, and everything's done. Okay, we're leaving. And I was like, and it was way more obvious, like watching it without commercials, that several of the episodes were like that. Like the episode with, who's the one that's on the late night talk show? James Corden. Yeah. His first episode was like that. It was this whole mystery of like why people are like twinging out, and then he's trying to learn soccer and all this stuff. And then it doesn't wrap up until the very, very end. And it was just very awkward. And I'm like, okay, like you need to build the story, and so like it arches up and then comes back down.
I don't remember that. So like I think I was probably just a
you should
fan and I liked it. Yeah.
Rewatch.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I just don't remember that episode. I just remember like soccer. I didn't. I was like, oh yeah, James Corden's in it. My favorite, like one time, I really enjoyed the Capaldi season 2. Like I call them like season 1, 2, 3 of his. You know, I don't really remember the actual number, like 11 or 12, whatever it is. But season 2 of Capaldi's 3 seasons, like, telling you, those long ass episodes, like. I think there was 10 or 12 episodes, and it was only 2 solo episodes, and every episode was A and B, A and B, A and B.
Yeah.
I think one had ABC, but those are like really good because it's like long, deep dives and shit.
Yeah. And you have time to like set the atmosphere and the mood.
And they ain't really like stuff like that was in like Capaldi season 1 was annoying, where it's like you get teasers of the master, right, at the end, right, who we don't know. So Mary Poppins is what I called her, right? Like, because you didn't know she's the master. But you get teasers of her versus like having like an actual story there of her why she's there. Then when it's like you just saying wrap it up, when it's like episode 9, 10, whatever, the end of the season, okay, now whoop-de fucking do, I'm here. You know, it's just like there's almost no point except that like we have 2 episodes left. It's time for me to do something, you know? Like,
and it was too obvious. Like we're leaving you a clue here.
You knew she was the master from before? I didn't.
No. But one of the most subtle things that they did in the 3rd season, Martha and David Tennant.
Okay.
In that season, all leading up to the master at the end, God, that was the 3rd season, right? They were leaving clues like all throughout it. One of the ones was talking about, oh, the lights are going out, which like that one line, it came up later, and it comes up in the 4th with Donna when all the planets disappear. They alluded to that with one line, and it was like such a throwaway line that you're like, okay, that doesn't really mean anything. And you go back and watch it and you're like, oh my God, they talked about it. Those are the ones that I like, where it's just like a random sentence that isn't important now is very important later. Those are the ones I like J.K. Rowling in the Harry Potter books. I know you haven't read or seen them. That's okay. I forgive you. She'll do that. She'll, have a throwaway line. And then, a couple books later, it comes up again. And you're just like...
I believe Matt Smith 1, right, has the tear in the wall for time.
Right.
Would that be something?
Yeah. Like just a very subtle thing where you don't realize its importance until later. But it's not like rubbed in your face. Like, hey, remember this crack in the wall from last time? It's still there.
Yeah.
Then the next episode, the crack. Hey. But
all is good. Like, I feel like I was disappointed overall because I've really loved Capaldi season 2. Not so much the others. Like, it's just moments in the others, but to me, like, the thing, like, when they finally figure him out is that, like, yo, he gives really great top tier monologues.
Oh, he does.
And he was amazing at that. And so that became like the best part. But I was so disappointed, like, when they cast him, and this is just me, like, wanting something I know they can't give, but like I always forget around these numbers is when he becomes or in the 80s when they did the evil doctor. I can't remember his name, like the V, it might be something with a V. But basically an evil version of himself, and they say he's like around the 12 and 13s. And I was like, Capaldi looks like an evil motherfucker anyway. First thing you see is his eyes and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks angry as fuck. Like, why not change the entire series and have just this one doctor be the bad doctor? You know, like,
even with the war doctor, they didn't hardly have him be bad. You never saw any of it. You just saw him like...
But he's a war doctor, so he's bad for, like, dialects. He's not really bad for, like... but this guy is supposed... like, this guy is literally doing, like... I would have loved, like, him, like... Even if it's just for one season, maybe, like, his finding himself could be like, oh, I'm supposed to be good. My bad. My bad. Like, that could, instead of, like, he doesn't know who he is. But, like, because... Now you have this thing, and to be fair, right? Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. He doesn't ever have to become that doctor for it to happen. Because alternate timelines and all that bullshit. But man, like, he just looks so bad. I would have loved to have him be like a little bit bad in the beginning. Like, he just looked like the bad one. No, none of these other people look bad. Like they David and Matt are the sexy young ones, and This girl doesn't look evil either. I like her a lot, but she doesn't scream. Yeah. That being said, though, the end of that trailer, she looks like a butcher. She's like, this is gonna be fun, yeah. She doesn't have no coat or nothing. I was like, yo, you're just missing a knife, and you could be like a horror chopping up lady, slasher lady. God. Like, she looks like a butcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, he was the only one that looked evil. I was like, well, I would have loved for him to flip. Like, no, I don't need a companion. Like, cause fuck them. You know,
there
like,
was some show he was on because like there's clips of it on
he was
YouTube
an asshole and he's cursing a lot.
You know exactly. Yeah. And I first saw him on Skins. He was like playing the dad and he was cursing and stuff and dramatic stuff happens. But the biggest scene that I remember him and what I knew like right before he was announced as a doctor, he was on Torchwood.
Oh.
And he had to make a very hard choice. And it was one of the most, the way it was filmed, just like it brought you in and made you feel so much stuff without showing anything. And those are the ones that like hit you the hardest. And
so he's on Torchwood and he's on that
yeah,
and he's on the David Tennant one. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a 5-episode season, and it's something to where you could jump in and kind of start from there and just watch those. Yeah. It's a wonderful season. What is it called? Children of Earth. And it was just like a 5-episode miniseries. You can just watch that one. And I binged through it because it was so intense. And it's like, as soon as the episode finished, it was like a cliffhanger. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I got to keep going. But essentially, I'm not going to spoil it.
All right.
But I like thought about it. I was like, let's not. I think I have a DVD upstairs. If I have it, you're borrowing it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was where it was that scene that I was like, he'll be fine. Like, I know he can do it. And plus he respects it so much. Like, the ones who are the best doctors are the ones that have been fans since they were little. And he used to be like the president of the Doctor Who fan club or something. I was like, that's adorable.
David Tennant's fucked up, man, because he ends up marrying the doctor's daughter, right? Like,
yeah.
And who in real life is the daughter of the 5th Doctor. Like,
and they have a kid.
That's some lore shit right there.
I know.
That's real lore.
Supposedly they're bringing the Doctor's daughter back into the timeline in this season. That's a rumor.
Oh, is that a leak? I don't get to see leaks. Why are you spoiling shit for me? So it's funny. I was just about to say, so like the Torchwood cast, like sometimes I'm disappointed that like they don't bring, especially where Marvel's like, oh, bringing everything, baby, we comics, right? They don't. Once a doctor leaves, it's almost like it's a brand new show, which it should be, but it's like,
yeah, they don't want to bring back anyone.
No, but like that makes it feel like stuff like that makes it feel less like this is the same person, and I almost feel like having some of that come back does help, you know?
Yeah.
Like
having Sarah.
Yeah. Bringing Sarah back from Tom Baker's timeline, right? I think he was in Tom Baker. She was in Tom Baker. Mm-hmm. Sarah Jane, I think, was her name.
Yeah, Sarah Jane.
To like Woof the dog, Woof K9, right? That's the like that's cool shit. I think the American dude from Torchwood should come back with the coat. You know, also the immortal. He should come back. Like, and I ain't saying like the whole damn show. I'm just like, the same way that doctors get an episode,
because I mean,
the
their
master gets an episode.
Have to
it's fucking again. Time travel. Like, it's cool. Like, it just makes it seem more like, oh yeah, same person. Yo, because that Matt Smith happened, and I enjoyed it a lot. But yo, especially around season 1, it just felt like this was like a reboot almost. Like,
well, even the intro. Like, oh, I met the Rackety Man. And I'm like, what is this? Like, why are you giving me an intro to a show? Like, we don't need one.
David Tennant just had this dramatic, I don't want to go. I cried watching that shit, Brandy.
I was bawling.
I still watch that shit. If I see some suggested YouTube shit, I still watch that shit. And I thought that music's so good.
Yeah.
That whole thing, everything was so good. Man, oh, fuck. I don't want to go.
He did so many different takes too. Have you seen all the different takes? He like did them in different ways. Yeah. And as soon as he did that last one, you're like, that's it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was
because there was like one where he was like bawling, and then other ones where he was just like he just says it, and
I love that because he towards the end he's like the only doctor who seems like defiant, and that he was kind of almost, and it's what they try to say, like, you know, when he has no companions he goes ape shit like that, but like he at the end he was like, nah man, fucking being David Tennant's the shit. I don't want to go. And I was like, that's badass, because almost all of them up to that point were like just embracing it with honor, and he was like, fuck this is great. This is great. Like, and I kind of enjoyed that. I don't know. I felt like I can't remember 11 and 12's like they give these nice, almost like poetic tributes to the actor, which are cool too. But I almost I do like that his was different. Like like that. I know a lot of like traditional Doctor Who fans are like, what the fuck is this? Doctor shouldn't be that. But like I like that every personality was different, you know?
Yeah, and it was kind of strange that Matt Smith, like Amy Pond, kind of like came back, even though you couldn't see her. That makes sense. Like,
well, I mean, it's all like a vision. It's probably not there, but she's not there, you know.
Then he breaks the fourth wall and talks to us.
I like Samesh. Doesn't he do that too?
Who?
Almost Capaldi. He's talking less to us and more to the next one. He's like giving out the rules of the Doctor and shit.
Yeah.
But I hate the way it ends with her, because it almost reminds me of like, all right, Matt Smith reboot again. And it's like, all right, the TARDIS, I guess she called it rejecting, so maybe that's what's it's rejecting her. But it just looked like, all right, this shit's gonna blow up again. And I'm like, man, it just seemed like Matt Smith again, you know? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. I hope it's awesome though. But
I do too.
Back to the goal in life. like,
to get in the TARDIS.
Yeah. There you go.
I think the simplest goal is just to be happy with myself.
How does one be happy?
Yeah.
How does one be happy with yourself? Even though I guess we kind of tackled that already, but how does one
be content with what you have?
Are you content with what you have? wait.
I'm alive. I'm healthy.
There you go.
I have a roof. I have a dog.
What are 3 things you're thankful for in life?
That's probably what I just listed.
I know, right? That was pretty funny. That's the universe right there. You're gonna answer. You answered it before I asked it.
I don't have to worry about not having something. For instance, like not having a place to stay or not having any money. Like, I'm okay. My family, which I'll kind of lump my dog into there, is like I have support, and I guess the third is that I'm here and I'm happy to be here, because there's been times where...
Sound like a question more than...
like that I'm to the point where I don't have a lot of regrets.
Got you. All right, where you see yourself 3 years in the future?
3 years?
Yeah.
What year is that? We're in 2018, so in 2021?
Yeah.
Probably still here, because I do not want to move again. That sucked. I don't like moving. Changing addresses.
I almost want to get rid of everything except the stuff I used to create, because I hate this attachment to stuff, and that's one of them. Moving sucks.
Yeah, when you move, you're like, why do I have so much stuff? Yeah. And I threw away a lot, but then everyone's like, I want to get you something. Would it be nice to find someone? Yeah. Do I think I will? Probably not.
So you can't.
But I want to be okay with being alone.
You need to be like that though.
Yeah, and I am for the most part, but I can be a very social person, and if I'm home too much, then like I go a little stir crazy. But I know that I have good friends and everything, and I just hope that kind of stays, and that I'm, what I have is enough, and I don't need another person to make me feel like I don't need someone. I don't want to be dependent on someone. Independent woman.
In that voice.
This is why I'm single. Still.
I feel like that could be like a series for you. See, whenever we do get you on Twitch, that'll be the title. This is why I'm single.
You just talk about dudes. Just bash them.
Sure.
All right.
What is the perfect day?
It's going to be stupid, but one of my favorite places is the freaking Harry Potter park in Orlando.
Oh, I heard magical things about that for people who like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like so immersive. Like, I guess the dream day is to be there with no people, like no one around, and like good weather. Like it's not hot.
Unless you're
rich. Yeah, no. The only time you can kind of get that is you go before the park opens. If you're staying at a hotel, they let you in early. Ooh. But that means you have to get there at 6:30. That's when the gate opens.
Damn.
Shit, which doesn't sound too bad, but since, we're like 2 hours ahead, so it feels like 4:30 and you have to be there.
Honestly, 6:30 is bad for me.
Yeah, it's bad for me. And so because you have to get ready and everything, get on the shuttle, get over there, get to the park. So it's like, it's a walk. It's not like a 5-minute thing. And so you finally get over there, and I usually take like a 5-hour energy, and then I'm like wired, and then I'm like, what am I doing? And then by the time you finish, you're like, okay, like maybe breakfast time, and it's like 7. And I'm like, ugh. And they don't do breakfast until like 9 o'clock. So you're just like, okay, I guess
Suffer I can just... for Harry Potter joy, dude.
Mm-hmm. But I think that just being there with friends or family, that'd be fun. Just like living. Or at the Harry Potter Museum that I haven't been to yet in London. They opened that after I went. So
the last one is this 3-parter. It's called I Like, I Wish, I Wonder. I like that I did. I wish I had done. I wonder what would have happened if. Oh. But just for the last year of your life.
Oh, the last year?
Yeah.
Shit, not much.
I like that I did. So let's start there.
I like that I got a house.
It's only been a year since that?
I moved in November.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I had done.
Wish I had gone out more. Stayed home a lot.
I wonder what would have happened if.
I wonder who I would have met. Because, for me, I believe in, fate. And so I think it's, a certain line of choices and everything leads you to, meeting your best friend or whatever. It's like that you got seated together. And if you hadn't if you were hungry that day and you went to the store and you ran into them there, if you hadn't been hungry, you never would have met that person. I truly believe there is certain steps that lead you to someone. And had I made a rash choice or something, I'd be like, you know what? I am going to say yes, and I'm going to go out and have drinks. What would have happened? Could I have met, my new best friend or, I don't know. People are like, oh, come hang out. And I'm like, I'm good. Rather not or
But maybe
whatever.
It was fate to keep you in from dumb shit happening, 1.
That's true.
And 2, so that you can meet the appropriate person at the right time.
Yeah. It could be. That's a long cycle of could be's.
Yeah, man. You don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to focus on the nowish.
Yeah.
Because the past is kind of done and the future ain't here yet. So
for instance, I was driving to work the other day, and there's a busy intersection that I always have to stop at. I'm always going to hit that light. And so I was waiting, and you know how you kind of zone out because you're exhausted. So I kind of zoned out, and the light was green, and I was sitting there for several seconds, and I was like, oh, whoop. As I kind of go, oh, it's green, this huge 18-wheeler runs the light. And it was several seconds after my light was green. So if I had gone through, I would have been hit. And that's happened twice at that same intersection. So now I just wait extra, but it's been twice that I kind of zoned out and didn't pay attention to when the light turned green that, I would have been hit by that freaking 18-wheeler.
Oh, man. Somebody gave me $50 the other day to drive them to Buddha, so I did. But, man, we were going on this path. That was a 1 lane, and there was an 18-wheeler in front of us. And that shit skidded out. And I was prepared to do evasive maneuvers. Who knows what the fuck I was really going to do, but my body went into that ready mode.
Yeah.
And luckily it just skidded, but it kind of retracted. It fixed itself. But I was like, ain't even nothing funny, you dude. What the fuck you doing? So I don't even know what even caused him to skid out. That was one of the scariest moments in terms of just me driving. I was like, fucking damn, dude. I was like, because that shit's big, yo.
Have you seen those Russian driving compilation videos of dash cams? Oh my God. I went down a deep hole and I watched 50 of them.
Can't, man.
But it was this compilation of bad drivers, and they're all Russian or some other country that I don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
And oh my God, some of them it's just they aren't paying attention, they swerve over and they flip their car, or they just hit people, and it just like some of it drives you nuts. And then there's motorcyclists and they're getting hit around, and I'm like, well, I see why everyone has a dash cam over there, because it's necessary. It's crazy. But a lot of them are like 18-wheelers that'll just hit someone or rear end someone because they're not paying attention.
Some 18-wheelers on Twitch.
What?
Usually they put on talk to text so they don't have to stare at the chat or nothing. Oh. But they usually just put it on the dashboard, and normally it's the road. So but sometimes they put it on them. But yeah, they have like in talk to text, or they put the Bluetooth. So
that's cool.
So the chat's being read by this annoying voice like, our Boosh said bacon, or this said that, like, and it's just
that would get so annoying.
It is, but it enables you to do it while driving. That's how like some of the Uber Twitch guys do it and stuff. You know?
Wow.
So that's a thing. But yeah, man, that's it. We almost done, so you can set them free.
Love me.
What where can they find you online? Even though you're not as active right now. Like if you want them to find you online.
Just search ChristyABell anywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
ChristyABell.
Except for on Instagram, some girl stole it, so I'm the real ChristyABell.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Slim Sadie tribute.
I know. I was so upset.
Last words.
I hope the best for me, and I hope the best for you.
Positivity.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. That's it, man. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We gotta do some ASMR because this is what's good on Twitch. Hey.
This ain't going on Twitch, so we ain't gonna make it.
All right. Sorry for the editing. This is gonna be great.
I was talking to someone, and I was like, man, I should be like the first male guy on Twitch doing ASMR. Just like that might work.
There's a bunch of guys. And they like cosplay.
I figure they must exist. They don't exist on Twitch, not at high level.
Maybe they're scared to move over.
YouTube, I'm sure, is killing it, but they ain't on Twitch.
No.
But let me see, what's my closing thing? Bake that chicken, smoke that turkey. Boosh, we out. Follow me along.